one of the final shout-outs for the John Barnett tournament happening June 8th in Cleveland, Ohio at BAM Arena. Technically Strongsville, but just a suburb. For a great man, great cause, great family of the cornhole realm. So if you're available June 8th, come on out, support, come play in a fun tournament put on by Cleveland Cornhole at BAM Arena in Strongsville, June 8th. And this episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags. As per usual, we love to talk about our dragons. Sean and I were just chit-chatting a little bit here, talking about how much we love them power dragons.
Sure were.
And, yeah, if you don't have them, why not? Just go get them. All right, over at DraggingBags.com. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout to save yourself some money on the hottest bag in the game. Right meow.
Cornhole. Big ass cornhole.
We hope you throw it straight. And nothing but four baggers from here on out.
All right, welcome back to yet another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
What is happening, brother?
Nothing. Just been a busy weekend.
Yeah, we had Madre's Day.
Madre's Day, a whole bunch of stuff going
yeah,
on.
it was,
And this episode's going to be crazy.
I mean, why not?
Let's
Let's just let it off a little unhinged.
Yeah.
And talk about random stuff and cornhole as well.
Yep. All right. So before we get into anything, Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called "What You Drinking."
What you drinking? Water.
Thank you.
Just I don't know. Like I
know it's a Monday night. I get it.
Monday
man.
night. I got home from work, walked the dog, mowed the lawn.
Yeah.
I sat for like 5 minutes, so I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Just some water. You know, nothing wrong. Chilling, watching the Cavs game. RIP season. Like one game away from being out.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Heartbreaking. But oh well.
It's a fun season.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So yeah, this episode is gonna be pretty random. We're going to recap kind of what's going on or what we should expect coming up for in Vegas when they're doing the singles, doubles of the Pro Shootout and the Nationals of number two,
along with the Super Hole.
Which I think they've done a good job, and the fact that they have a big backing from the NFL right now goes a long way.
Oh, so I love it, man.
For the growth of the overall game, I think it is good just to get eyeballs on the game.
Heck yeah.
We're going to we elicited the help of listeners this week.
That we did.
We're like, you know what? Like I was just literally sitting at work and I'm like trying to think of topics. I'm like, you know what? I want to know what do you want to hear about?
Yes.
So we have a whole slew of listener questions we're going to answer randomly. We've not really looked through them too much. Just going to answer them on the fly.
It'll
see what
be
happens.
Fun random shit on the fly.
Correct. It's
with
going
us.
to be flying fun random shit. Right?
Whoa.
Wow.
Everybody duck.
I don't know if people have heard,
cover.
but the ACL is going to be busting out a new stamp policy, not for bags, but for boards.
Oh,
so
we're going to touch mail.
So we're going to touch on that, and then at the very end, we're going to be joined by Mr. Jamie Graham and Mr. Frank Modlin, just days before they're going to be playing for the National Doubles Championship.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited to chit chat.
Before we get
boys.
into all of that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a second we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
And this is brought to you by Black Sheep Baggers. If you're in the, well done, Dean.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. If you're in the market for a new set of bags, all right, Black Sheep Baggers has got you covered. They got bags for every type of thrower. If you like a bag that's a little bit fuller, slightly smaller template, they got you. If you want a bag that's a little bit bigger, you got to check out their new hybrid carpet bag. It's a motherfucker. Go to blacksheepbaggers.com, use code BIGASP, and you're going to save yourself some money.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Well done. So, Sean, anything going on in your cornhole life?
No, man, just coming off finally playing a decent amount in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then throwing a little bit last week. Just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm throwing well finally again. And it's nice. It makes it fun throwing. And I feel like I don't even need to go out and throw that much and I can still be at a consistent level. I feel like I'm at a point where if I want to get to where if I go to a regional where I can actually like really compete and make a run, I'd have to like dedicate a serious amount of time to it.
Yeah.
I just don't have that time in my life right now, but I'm comfortable enough where if I get paired with the right guy in doubles or something like in a blind draw, we can make a run.
Yeah.
In singles, I might be able to surprise somebody
still,
here or there.
Still competitive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think I realized that like the more I play, I kind of like singles, man. Like I don't know, I like that pressure on myself and not relying on anybody. I love the dynamic of doubles, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I always enjoy like the team aspect, but singles, like I feel like I've been playing better in singles recently.
Yeah, I always felt like I was more apt to singles than you were. Last tournament, I did not want to play singles that day. It was a long day.
It was a long day.
It's a lot of walking.
27 feet, back and forth.
Back and forth. Get the pedometer out. Let's go.
Besides that, though, nothing really, nothing new. I mean, it was like you said, it was Mother's Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Went out to dinner. My wife worked Sunday. So in the morning, just dad routine stuff. Stopped by the parents, dropped off mom's gift, went to the store, got home. They wanted to build a fort, put together just a banger of a fort. Like they have like these, think like giant Tinker toys, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like the piece, right? And it's like these little round pieces. So you can basically make the
any shape that you need.
Correct. So we made like an igloo shape with a pointed top. Dude, I was just balling out.
Sweet.
and the worst part is like they're all excited, right? They get in there. It lasts for like 10 minutes.
Yep.
It took me like 40 minutes to set this thing up.
Yeah.
They're fighting the whole time. And then finally they're quiet for 10 minutes. I sit down on the couch and one of them's like, yeah, I want to do something different. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I gave you your fort.
I gave you a kingdom in your living
Go
room.
rule your castle.
God. Pretty frustrating. But
yeah, I had a pretty nice little weekend though.
Did you?
It was like the only 5 hours I was home, it was just absolutely shitting rain. So that was fun. So I didn't get any yard work done, but instead just got into a bunch of tomfoolery. The wife left for a little girls trip on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So Thursday night, went out and watched the Cavs victory with our boy B-Robs.
Nice.
Very fun. Friday, went out and disc golfed with our boy Andy. And then Saturday, shit rain, went to the Cavs game. We lost. That was very sad. And then Sunday was Mother's Day brunch followed by Mother's Day dinner.
Just a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, dude, it was just one after another this whole weekend. So I didn't get in a chance to throw at all, but I might actually on Saturday. I might go up to the regional. I don't know. We don't have much going on Saturday. So.
I mean, I know I'm going.
You are going?
Yeah,
up
I'm
there?
going to go.
Okay.
I know I'm going to go at least in the morning. I haven't decided how long or I can stay. Just, we got family out of town and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
just trying to figure that out. But yeah, I'm going to go up at least for the blind draw. And then I'm hoping maybe for doubles if you're going, but
I'll let you know. I haven't yet decided.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll probably have Logan in tow with me though.
Okay.
So if that dictates your decision at all.
I don't think I can make it all of a sudden. I'm just kidding. I wonder how many bags he's gonna just push on the board in the hole.
Dude, like I've kind of thought about that. Like I need to have a serious talk with him. Be like, hey, this is not like at home. Like you can't just be running up to the board and help Dad out. Okay, like you can't. Like,
I mean, or can you? Is there anything in the rule book saying otherwise?
you're allowed to coach from the sidelines. You just can't put your hands on the bags. Okay, like we just can't do that. Okay, we're just gonna avoid that at all costs. Yeah, so we got the regional this weekend. Obviously the nationals are coming up.
Yes, they are.
So let's go while we're there. Let's go over that. All right,
Let's
so
do that.
we have. You want to do the shootout first?
Sure.
All right.
Why not?
So pro shootout, round limited format. We have in singles. We have Gavin Cano versus Eric Davis, and we have Alex Rawls versus Braden Wilson. So Braden Wilson again, just in the mix, young gun. Alex Rawls, a guy that just always seems to be first or second, like in all the brackets, just always kind of hanging around.
Ho hum.
Who do you like? Who are you leaning one direction or the other?
I mean, Braden's been on an absolute heater.
He has.
And historically, we've questioned Alex getting it done on the big stage, but I think recently he's kind of gotten over those little bit of jitters and stuff. So I'm gonna go with the experience on this one and give me Alex Rawls.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too, only because Braden did get more experience on broadcast, right? And that does matter.
Yeah.
He did get off to a slow start in that match, though. And in round limited stuff, you just can't. And Alex is just that kind of guy that if he'll give up some. It's really hard to score big rounds against him.
Yeah, for sure.
He just tends to be a more cerebral player, so I kind of am leaning that one. My favorite match though is Kano versus Eric Davis.
That's it's which
two of the
Eric
guys that
Davis
are
will show
throwing-
up.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, we've seen Eric Davis. This is his format.
Yeah,
Is round limited stuff. Gavin Kano is arguably throwing probably second best in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to go against Kano in this. For me, like, I know Eric Davis is a round limited guy. Like, that's his thing. He's made that very clear. But I'm gonna go with Kano though. I'm gonna go with who I think is throwing better overall.
With it being this like set alone thing,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks after the fact, I think you got to go with who's been more consistent. I mean, even though Eric Davis has been very consistent, it's not quite to the level of Kano.
Mm-hmm.
So, as boring as it is, I'm leaning that way too.
Yeah.
But for the sake of argument, give me Eric Davis.
Okay. Well, okay. So just complete.
We'll just
360.
flip flop it because we can't keep picking the same people.
In doubles, we have Mark Richards and Tony Smith facing off against Tony Forbes and Quinn Reeves, which is I believe they're both elite players.
Are they elite?
I think they're elite players. I think. And then you have Ryan Hart and Jeremiah Ellis, Matthew Creekkiller, and Ryan Windsor. Who do you like in the Hart Ellis Creekkiller Windsor match?
I mean, give me Hart Ellis, just
Really?
because
Why?
of Ellis.
Okay.
Again, like the question mark of all of it's probably Creek Killer, as strange as it sounds. I think Hart's been a little more consistent as of recent.
Okay.
He's
Tony Forbes is an elite player, by the way.
he is elite. Okay. So yeah, I think I would lead just Ellis and Hart. I think they're throwing really well. I mean, nothing against Windsor and Creek Killer. It's just that to me they're still a question mark.
I think Ryan Hart's a very good player. I worry about him being on a broadcast. Now he's been on there before, right? He won a pro shootout singles. I just feel like this is going to be the first time that there's a little pressure on him. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to be like that team for Ultra.
Yeah, and
If you're going to be that team, like these are the games you got to win. I feel like there's a little added pressure. I mean, Windsor and Creek Killer, like I feel like there's really no pressure for them at all.
if you say so, I mean, I think there's pretty much equal amounts of pressure all the way around in this game.
I'll be interested to see who throws against who.
I think you're going to see Creek Killer against Hart.
See, I think that is a mistake on Creek Killer and Windsor's part. I really do.
You want Windsor to try to rattle him at the other end and hope.
No,
Creek
I
Killer
think
can-
Creek Killer is a better thrower than Windsor. I do. I really believe. I think that he would be able to run bags with Ellis because in this format, you're really just trying to throw high.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be serious. It's just let's run bags.
Yeah.
If you do make it,
You want to score 120 points.
correct. And I just feel like it just matches up well.
Yeah.
So whereas a guy, Windsor is a very smart player, might be able to take advantage of something like that. So I'll be interested to see if it matches up like that. I like Creek Killer and Windsor winning it. But if it goes the other way, then I would probably bet on Ellis and Hart.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna stick with Ellis and Hart on that one though.
The next one's interesting because again we have an ACL elite. Now this would be, to me, this would be a huge slap to the face of like the entire pro division. Regardless of how good Tony Forbes is, he's technically not like a pro. He's like that elite level,
Yeah.
but like that weird caveat where they can qualify for stuff.
Mhm.
Super impressive. We know he's dominated on like every other level. I mean, it's not exactly the kind of player you want to see going up against in the semifinals, but you are going against the reigning doubles national championship team.
Yeah, I mean,
Not in
to
this
me,
it is a round limited format, but still, like Richards and Smith are very hard to score a bunch of points against.
I'd love to know what that plus minus is at right now,
Yeah,
because honestly, that's that one could be swayed a lot.
I don't think you can because I don't think can you bet on with Forbes being?
Is he a junior too?
I can't remember. I thought he was.
He might be a junior as well. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, there's only one team you can really bet on out of that one.
But I mean, I going into that, I know how talented he is, but again, like his time will come.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like this is the year where we get to know who he is and like, all right, you're on our radar. And then when he becomes a pro player, then I'm like, okay, then now it's time to take him a little bit more serious. But right now, like Smith and Richards to me are still the doubles team to beat. So I'm not gonna. It's hard to bet against them.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
If we're talking about doubles for like the national championship, right? So for 21, all right, no round limited stuff. The matchups are pretty interesting. Okay, so you have ELLIS and Hart, all right, going against Graham and Modlin, and then we have Kano and Hamilton going against Malone and Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with ELLIS Hart, okay, going against Graham and Modlin. Graham and Modlin coming off a national one where lackluster performance, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of us expected them to do a little bit better. But hey, guess what? We get to throw one out, right?
Very true.
So, I mean, if it's your first one, it's not the best going forward for like seeding purposes. But listen, it happens all the time, right? You throw your first one away, you end up running it. We're all going to forget that you sucked a national one.
Exactly.
If you guys go do really well. So they're kind of back at the level we thought. ELLIS and Hart were that team where we all thought they should be really good, especially with how Hart ended last year and the run that ELLIS was making coming into this year. I'm not convinced yet for them as doubles. I think they're both immensely talented individual players. I'm just not quite convinced yet as a doubles team. I just want to see them get it done. Graham and Modlin, to me, it's almost like they're on a little bit of a mission. Jamie Graham, I think, takes things personally a little bit. I think he feels a little bit disrespected. I think we're going to find out a little bit when we interview him. But that's kind of to me like how he's always been able to bounce back after a bad performance and then win the fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of.
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a player of his caliber that's been like so up and down.
Yeah, no, it's very true because we've always kind of talked about it. Like, it's not an.
And when I'm saying down,
it's
I'm
not
talking
an
like
if anymore.
Ninth in his bracket.
Yeah.
Like he's not like he's taking last.
It's not an if anymore. If like that he's gonna make a run. It's just when. And honestly, like he always does enough of them to put him in the conversation for Player of the Year. So like. You just you come to expect it now.
Listen, Graham and Modlin, historically speaking, when they've been doubles partners, have had big success on the national level. I'm going to go with Graham and Modlin in this. I know it's probably not like the popular opinion, but again, I think that they're playing for something a little bigger too.
Well, we had
all
talked
cornhole
about,
needs them to win.
Oh, I know.
Game Changers as like that brand of bag needs them to win.
Yeah, I mean, but you brought up ELLIS and Hart with Hart being the question mark in round limited.
Mm-hmm.
No, the question mark comes in a game to 21 against a guy like Frank Modlin or Jamie Graham, whoever he ends up facing. That to me is the bigger question mark.
See, I disagree because in round limit, if you have one bad round, like if it's playing to 10, right?
Yeah.
If you only get 5 opportunities,
it's easier to focus for 10 rounds than it is for
I get that, but if you're going to 21, right? Let's say the first round you give up 5. If you wash out the rest of the game, you didn't lose that game for you guys.
Yeah.
Right? In round limited, though, you could give up 5 that first round, and then you only get the bag 4 other rounds. If you wash every time, you probably still lose.
I mean, that's a great scenario. Talk about washing every time, but that doesn't happen.
I'm just.
I know.
Get what I'm saying?
Hypothetically,
yes.
I get it, but I think there's more room for a drop off in a game to 21 than it is in round limited. Especially against that elite level where you could be playing 40 rounds.
I think it's going to play how fast are the boards playing.
Yes.
If they're playing lightning fast, Frank Modlin's going to just love it.
Yeah.
Jamie Graham is going to be fine.
Up?
Oh, you have to go Graham and ELLIS, I think.
You think so?
I
think if the boards are super slick, I would actually flip-flop that. And I would put Modlin against ELLIS and be like, you're just running with them.
If you're ELLIS, you are your A1. Like you're telling Hart, like, listen, I'm gonna go against Graham.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go against Graham. That's what it is. You go get your points against Frank. I'm taking on Jamie. We're not having a discussion. I truly believe that's what it should be.
I get it. I just to me, thinking strategy wise, it's.
If I'm Graham and Modlin, I want it the other way because I'm positive that Frank can like stay with ELLIS enough, and Jamie's probably gonna. And again, I think Ryan Hart is a very good player. You know what I mean? I think he's a fantastic thrower. I really do. This is not taking a shot at him in any way. I'm just saying, like, when it's on the big stage, it's a little bit different. Now, he could show up and show out, and we're going to be coming on here next week and be like, are they the best team
Ryan
in
Hart
cornhole?
just
Could be, but I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen it before. Exactly. Come back and it'll finish you off here.
We're just edging you right now, buddy. All right.
I mean, we'll create your own fan page. We won't have the ELLIS.
Yeah, we'll have the heartthrobs.
Ooh.
Right off the cuff.
Done.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, can someone please create that now?
Yeah,
if you're listening, whoever created the ELLIS page, if we can create the heartthrobs, I think it would be pretty.
We could
funny.
have the ELLIS heartthrobs. Like, just bring it all into one.
God,
Just saying. There you go. That's free, people. All right, imagine if you paid me what you could get.
Wow, crazy. And then the other matchup.
Yeah, let's get over to that one.
Hamilton and Kano
Heartthrob shot.
going against Harbaugh and Malone. This is interesting.
About time, Malone. Jeez, we missed you in the first one. What
So
the hell?
I don't even know what to think about this one because I like both teams.
Yes.
And I think Kano and Hamilton are probably like the second or third best doubles team in the country right now. They've just been too damn consistent at the national level to not put them there. But there's just something about Harbaugh and Malone were put together to do exactly what they're doing this weekend.
And we all know Cal Malone in doubles is just destined to win something.
Now,
like,
what cannot happen? I don't think the universe is going to allow Harbaugh and Malone versus ELLIS and Hart in the finals. I just don't see it. The moon's aligning because Mark Pryor will just come himself to the moon.
Well, that's the problem. He comes so hard to knock it out of its orbit.
I mean, we're talking total eclipse in a different level. All right, no, I was just kidding. But
total eclipse of the heart.
I don't know what to think about this matchup. Obviously, Malone has been crazy successful in doubles on the national stage. We know this. Harbaugh is a phenomenal player. Not quite as much success like in doubles, but this is arguably his best partner he's ever had.
I agree. To me, it's just for Harbaugh. It's just
this feels overdue for Devin Harbaugh.
Yes,
to me.
that's kind of how I feel. Like this is his chance to finally come out and show everyone like I am that guy.
I think I'm probably dumb because I think they're probably the underdogs going in. I just have a feeling that Harbaugh and Malone are going to pull this out, at least in this first game. I haven't quite decided who I like in the finals yet, and I reserve that right to not post it right now because it's Monday and there's still several days.
Yes.
But I don't know. I have this feeling that like Harbaugh and Malone are just going to kind of get it done in this first
Dude, honestly,
game.
when I heard that they made it, part of me was like, all right, I think it's theirs to lose. Like, for some reason, I just kind of felt like we've seen Malone time and time again just come in and be steady Eddie, just nothing
especially
shakes
on
him.
broadcast.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's 2 week wait, I think like somebody like Harbaugh and Malone, like they're both very calm, cool.
Yeah.
Like I think it's okay. Like
They
those
play,
guys,
they play a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to get chewed up by it. I really do like their chances. And again, we've seen Fish just give up those monster rounds, and against a team like Harbaugh and Malone,
Again,
we
can look dumb. Like, I mean, we could be like, well, of course it was Kano and Hamilton. What the fuck were we thinking? They just lost the finals last time,
Yeah.
and we're not picking them to win this time when they don't have Smith and Richards to get by. Could be the case.
But again, like when you switch people around, though, it changes everything in my mind.
Oh, it
like,
does.
A team like Harbaugh and Malone, they're going to be so hungry. And I'm not saying Hamilton and Fisher won't be, but
I think they're going to want it too much.
Hamilton and Kano,
Yes.
yeah, because they keep getting so close, which I could see that too.
It's kind of like the Super Bowl effect, right?
Yeah.
Like that Super Bowl hangover a little bit. The fact that they made it this far again, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you get it, you got another newer, hungry team ready to go out for it. I don't know. I just have a feeling Harbaugh and Malone are going to do very well this weekend.
I fully agree.
So,
I hope they do.
In singles is interesting. All right.
Oh yeah.
So you have Gavin Kano going against Adam Hissner, and then you have Jeremiah Ellis going against Jamie Graham. So Adam Hissner is a cornhole player, apparently.
Yes.
And the first national was not a fluke in singles because the fucker made it again. And I don't want to call his run easy because, again, the pro field is too talented now.
Mm-hmm.
He directly benefited from having a great seed. So
100%.
tip of the cap.
Yeah.
And he took his seed and he did what he was supposed to do. And he ran the fucking gauntlet and he finds himself in the finals again.
Hell yeah.
He is facing Gavin Kano this time. So it's unfortunate because he had Jeremiah Ellis last time, number 1 player in the world. And now he gets the number 2 player in the world currently.
Yeah.
I mean, in there, I don't know if it's the ACL fucking rank, whatever he is, but like in my heart, which is all that matters, number 2 player of the world.
Yeah.
He's got Gavin Kano. No easy task. can Hissner get off to a better start than last time? And does he make a bag change? I'm going to be interested to see, does he go with a sticky bag like he did last time, which cost him a few points early in that match, or is he going to go and try to run bags with Gavin? I don't know yet. I think he might. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts throwing the darts, which is like their new hybrid carpet bag.
No, wouldn't surprise me either.
And just be like, all right, let's do this.
Because he can block with any bag. Like the dude's that good. So if he needs to pull it out, he can.
I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic to kind of keep an eye on which bags he's throwing this time. Because against Jeremiah, he threw the talons.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to see if he throws like the dart bags, just something a little bit quicker. The other side, we have Jeremiah Ellis and Jamie Graham.
Which I hate that they have to face off.
We all hate that. We all wanted it to be the finals, I think. But again, sometimes semifinals are the best matches we get.
For sure.
It's hard to go against Jeremiah right now, even with somebody like Jamie Graham, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Jeremiah's throwing so well that even if he was going against like Tony Smith or Mark Richards, you still have to say that Jeremiah is the favorite right now.
Yeah, he's got the nod for sure.
Jamie Graham on a broadcast is just a different beast. He just doesn't tend to lose very much.
Yeah.
And this is a big time match, right? Because I think that this match has a potential to create a future like long time like rivalry.
100%.
Because not only are we getting them in singles, but we're also getting them to face off in doubles.
Yeah. So I mean this one moment.
And if they split
yeah.
or if one sweeps the other, I mean, you know the other one's not going to like that at all.
Hell no.
And they're both fiery enough that I feel like this could be the start of like a new rivalry that like maybe is organically going to be born in front of us, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So let me throw a hypothetical at you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's played first? Is it singles and then doubles, or is it doubles and singles?
I don't know.
All right, so let's say doubles is played first. Frank and Jamie get it done. Is there any chance that Ellis loses head-to-head against Jamie then?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think he has that different ability right now to lock in that if he's like upset, like that they didn't pull
You're saying
one
is there
out,
a chance? Yeah, of course there's
a chance. But to me, I think it's very indicative of how that first one gets played out.
I think that the Graham Ellis semifinal match has potential to be one of the best broadcast matches we've seen.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because you have two guys that Ellis does not seem to be bothered by the spotlight. You have Graham, who's been there a bunch of times, and he's always shown that like when he locks in, it's just a different player.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very special match. I think the winner of that match, I like winning the whole thing.
I agree.
And I hate saying that because I really like Gavin, but I just feel like these two guys, they're not going to get past the other one and then not go and win the fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough because we were just talking about like the letdown too. Like, is there potential that if you do get that big win, like if Jamie Graham gets that big win, does he have a letdown going to the finals against maybe like a seasoned vet like Hissner?
I just don't see it.
Like,
but it could have, again, we're guessing.
To me, it's also game to 21. Again, you got to give the nod to Jamie Graham, who's just been a beast like throughout that, and same with Ellis. I mean, 21's just a different animal. Yeah, for the whole thing though, dude, is it weird for me to still think that it's kind of a toss up across all four though?
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if any of them take it. I know it's like the cheap way to say it, but again, like
it's boring if we just keep saying Ellis is going to win everything. Right?
Yeah.
He's on a heater right now. He's on an unprecedented run, and if he wins the second national, it's time to start talking about him putting together
one of the greatest,
the best seasons of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
100%.
But he hasn't done it yet. And Jamie Graham has been a top 5, top 3 player in the world for like the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He still has it, and he showed it right now. I think it would just be dumb for us to just be like, well, Jeremiah's the new god. Like, let's.
Yeah.
Jamie Graham's a motherfucker too. Yeah. And he's throwing all cornhole again. If he's throwing game changers, I mean, he's just really good with those bags. So we'll see. Really I'm just excited. I think that has the potential, regardless of who wins. I think it's big time potential. But
yeah.
I want to ask Jamie all these questions.
Yes.
I want to find out, like, do you listen to this kind of stuff? Like, do you stuff fire up? Do you think that there could be a rivalry coming up, developing, potentially, regardless? I mean, you face off. You don't get to do that all the time.
Yeah. Just be like, Frank, how about you, bud?
All right, bust out
Let me
your
pull out my
scroll.
scroll. I gotta thank everybody.
So did you hear about the new bag policy?
With it has to have
the
ACL
stamp policy, the board policy.
Yeah, and then I heard after that it's going to be the shoes.
So dumb. So let me put my reading glasses on here for a sec.
So yeah, I mean, basically, from what I've heard, all like ACL sanctioned events are going to have to be thrown on ACL stamped boards in 2025, I think.
So, in a continuing effort to standardize the play and expertise of players in the ACL points events, it's going to be effective October 1st, 2026.
2026.
All league play for ACL points will have to be played on ACL marked and approved boards. So they're going to have different stages for the stamp. Looks like they're going to have a rec stamp, a comp stamp, elite, I want to say. Yeah, elite and pro. The rec seems like it's going to be like the cheaper, like thinner kind of board that it's going to be for like mass sale stuff.
Inch Baltic
It's like the
birch.
ones you see like in the retail store, like
Yeah.
the ACL cornhole package kind of thing. Comp stamp is what you're going to see at most of the leagues. Like it's basically a pro board just without like that
the
kind of
bells and
stuff.
whistles.
I'm very interested by this because I got the bag stamp thing. I've come around to it, right? I get it. But man, the boards, like,
Well, I mean, all right. So
Man,
let me,
that's just
Let me
tough.
ask you this: if you're a director right now, and you know your leagues are what bring you the money, like, I mean, you're not making a ton of money, but it's still like, do you need to run it through the ACL? I think less and less people are starting to chase points now, so people are going to just say, screw running it through the ACL. We can literally just run it on Scoreholio for free and just run a league.
I think that's going to be a big decision and one that I think the ACL needs to sit back and really think about. Like, this is different than people making bags, right?
Yes.
Like out of their basement and then them profiting off of like your product. To me, this is not just affecting the people who are making the boards, right? This is now directly affecting the people who now have to go out and purchase new boards to be able to run these events. I mean, it's not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have directors asking people to pay like $200 for a league just because they have to replace all the boards.
I guess I can see maybe like the big like conference directors kind of doing it.
Yes.
I just don't see like local regional directors wanting to do that. Like, that is a huge money investment. So what's going to happen? Like, are you going to have to raise the cost and payouts are going to be less to cover the cost of the boards?
Exactly.
I mean, it's going to affect us, I
Yeah.
would imagine, right? The people that are going.
For sure.
I mean, we all want to talk about money all the time. I mean, I to me, if I was a director, that's the first thing I would have
You're
to
going
do.
to pay $100 to play and win 25. Like, if you need to,
Boards
got to
get paid off somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, the only way around it, I would say, is if they have some kind of grandfathering system.
It doesn't sound like they're going to.
Which is, I mean, it's a huge. I know you're saying like, oh, like you only play on boards for that long. Like, bullshit. We're still playing on some Reynolds boards sometimes, like from
Hell
OG
yeah.
days. Like, they're still good quality boards. So why make people have to replace them?
Yeah,
Like,
if you take care of them.
exactly. Like, to me, it shouldn't. You shouldn't have to just replace a piece of hardware that's perfectly good.
Now, again, there are obviously there's ways that people can get creative to then pay for the boards, right? You can get sponsorships for leagues and all that stuff, but that's just a lot of work you got to do.
And then, like, are they handling the stamp the same way that they're doing the bag? So if you want to be an ACL board maker, you got to pay this money per set that you sell.
Yeah.
Because now already expensive boards are going to go up to $500
Well, I want to know,
pop.
what does that mean for like the big guys, like West Georgia?
Yeah.
I mean, does West Georgia is used by, I mean, I would say the majority of ACL. I would imagine, at least
Well, it's
in our
guys
area.
like West Georgia. That's the reason the ACL's looking at this, being like, oh, well, shit, he makes a lot of money doing this. Why don't we get some of that?
So then, like, I guess my answer goes to like, do they have to? Are they allowed to sell non-stamped boards?
I mean,
As long as it's not
have to
directly to another league, are they allowed to sell non-stamped boards? If they're not, then like,
it might
why
have to be
would
the
I?
same situation as like the bags, where they have to have a different company entirely or something. They run it through that.
So I'm trying my best to reach out to get somebody from the ACL to come on the show to explain this a little bit more before we really dive into it. But effective October 1st, 2026, all leagues that you go to that are going to be for local points for ACL, they're going to have to be on ACL approved stamped boards with it. So I'm trying to reach out. I'm going to try to get somebody on the show to walk us through this kind of the thought process, because again, I'm willing to play devil's advocate, but I want to hear why this decision was made in the first place. It's hard to see like governing every aspect of everything. Like,
Especially
you haven't earned that right yet. Like, I know people want to throw like, oh, look what the NFL done. Dude, the NFL's been established for like 50 or 60 years. They have a huge head start. When we're this young, like, it just seems like a weird thing to try to control altogether.
Yeah, because there's so many great just home craftsmen making these boards for leagues and stuff, and getting a couple G's like on the side. Like, you're going to lose all of that.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to maintain like playing in the ACL format. But again, these local leagues, people don't give a shit that it's affiliated with the ACL.
Yeah.
Again, most of the money that we've talked about for this league is coming from the novice to intermediate level player. And now you're just finding another way to try to milk that teat. And I don't like it. Like, it's just what happened to the sport of just crushing some beers and throwing some bags.
So I have a message out to a few people. We'll see if we get a response, but I would like to have them come on either next week or the week after, just to kind of continue this discussion, because I want to learn more about it before I fully develop my opinion. Like, right now, again, it's hard to see it than anything other than like just kind of like another cash grab a little bit. And like, you're shooting the people that are already promoting your product. Right.
Yeah, like, again, if you're not offering a way to grandfather in equipment that they already own, that's still in perfectly good shape.
So if you want to say after October 1st, 2026, that any new boards you purchase have to then have a stamp, I'm okay with that.
Yes, that's a little different. But if you're literally just saying, nope, you got to, because eventually you'll start making in some money off of it. But you're literally putting a hard cut date,
correct,
to start raking in the dollar bills, and I just don't agree with that.
So I'm interested to hear more about it, but we'll find out. So let me ask you. So I wrote down, just again, random thoughts on a notepad throughout the week.
Gross.
I wrote down, are you familiar with Nelly Korda?
No.
She's a female golfer. She's won like 5 or 6 straight events, right?
Yeah.
She's gorgeous, right?
Isn't it Cordora or something like that?
It's Korda.
Is it okay? Thought you were missing a vowel in there. Anyways,
she's good looking.
Yeah.
She's awesome at what she does, and she's personable, right? So the LPGA is doing very well with like ratings and stuff like that, and they're doing a great job promoting her. My question is, like, along the same lines of like her, like, is someone like Caitlin Clark changed the game of women's basketball? You couldn't turn on a TV without seeing Caitlin Clark somewhere. America, Good Morning America, every night show. You know what I mean? Like, Caitlin Clark was there. Women's college basketball made an effort. They found their person, market. If ELLIS wins singles again in National 2, couldn't they then market Jeremiah Ellis? Like, couldn't he be their poster child? You clean him up a little bit, but like, you might, I mean, why, if he wins again, he's like, why, to me, if I were running the league, I'd be calling Good Morning America. I'd be calling Sports Center. I'd be calling every news out, anyone that would take him. I'd be sending him out there. Just put him in front of some people. Just start talking and tag a buddy along with him. So you have Jeremiah Ellis and then whoever you want your other marketing person to be with him.
Yeah.
And just start getting the fucking brand out there. You know, if he wins, I feel like it's a perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an easy talking point. Like, you're a rookie. Oh, and you've already won the first 2 nationals. Like, oh, like, done.
Hot damn.
Yeah. 5-minute interview in and out, but you're getting it in front of people. You're reminding people as the weather's getting warmer that, hey, fucking cornhole is fun. You should do it too.
Yeah.
Right? You should join a fucking league. You like playing in the summer. You'd love it in the winter too. Find a local league. It's an easy way to like reach a new audience.
Yeah.
So what do you think that's a would be a good plan? Do you think it's a possibility? Do you think he's marketable enough?
I do. I mean, he's not quite as good looking as that golfer chick you're talking about, but I think he's well spoken.
Dude, I think you put him
and he's funny. Like, I think he could do very well, like, live
hell yeah.
on camera. And he wouldn't shy away from it. My biggest thing is,
if you could get him,
it's a great plan, but could you actually get him on those big outlets?
That's what I'm saying. That's not my job. That's their job.
That's their
Go
job.
fucking do it, marketing
but
team.
they don't know how to
Go
access
do
that
it.
kind of stuff.
It just drives, or like, why are we not seeing like stuff regular? We air our shit on ESPN.
Yeah,
we can't get anything ever. Like a Scott Van Pelt can't throw like a bone every once in a while. Can't get something.
He'll throw some stuff up there.
Yeah, but why
every
can't
once in a while.
Jeremiah Ellis wins. Have him on Scott Van Pelt's
they like to throw him on like the not top 10.
Yeah, of course.
Like an NFL player missing all 4 bags on the board or something.
Yeah. Again, on the Ocho. That's so forever we're seen like that. But yeah, so that was one of the things I had written down. The other thing was, what's your thoughts on French fries? Are you a French fry dude?
I am. I like all form of fried potatoes.
Okay, so like curly fries, in or out?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, do you think that Arby's makes a smart choice because they also offer normal fries?
Why the hell do they offer a crinkle cut fry? Those are all right. Of all of the French fries,
thank you for
crinkle cut.
Thank you.
Crinkle cut are the biggest pieces of trash.
Can we say that that's why, to me, Cane's will never be rated above Chick-fil-A?
See, like, I don't eat enough Chick-fil-A to monitor that, but when I get Cane's, it's not for the fries.
No,
but again, the waffle fry from Chick-fil-A is bomb. And like, whenever I go, I'm like, I have to get waffle
so
fries.
Where do you rank? Like, what are your favorite types of fries? This is how the rest of this episode is going to go.
All right, so I think the best, like, fast-ish food French fry,
yes,
Penn Station. Just fresh cut, flash fried, salt, a little bit of vinegar on those bad boys, delicious. Or as some would say, delicious.
Not where I thought you were going, but okay, continue.
Again, man, I think number 2 would be like a nice seasoned French fry, like Arby's.
Okay,
or not Arby's. Rallies, like Rallies, Carl's Jr. That seasoned fry.
It's different. Okay,
yes, like the seasoned fry. Most restaurants are in that area.
Okay, so is Penn Station your one? Like your number one?
If I go to Penn Station, I'm never not going to get fries. Like, that's how I know, because I could go to most fast food joints and actually not get fries with my sandwich.
Fair enough.
And just get a sandwich real quick.
But
I'm going to go to Penn Station. I'm like, I'm getting that small fry. And I know you fill half the bag like at the bottom, so I'm going to enjoy all those. But then if I'm a sucker for like a good like Parmesan truffle like French fry at a restaurant.
So bougie on this. I love it.
Yeah. Dude, we're talking French fries here, Sean. All right. I am bougie. So yeah, I mean, I do like those. Definitely more of a shoestring fan over a steak
that's
fry.
kind of the route I was going, but like, all right, we can put truffles on too.
So that's
I'm with
why
you.
I like, I always was a fan of Steak and Shake. Those thin little shoestring fries, like those are bomb. Yeah, I mean,
like, what do they call them? Like JoJo's, like the big thick ones.
Yeah, again,
like the potato wedges.
so
it's not me.
It's not my favorite, but
if I wanted a whole
baked
baked potato, I would just have a baked potato.
See, like something like a JoJo, just dress it up like a baked potato, put a little sour cream on that, like some chive, like you're good. Like then crush it.
Dude, I'm sorry, but still the number one French fry.
But is that really a French fry?
If they're hot, they got to be like. I want to like. I question if I have second or third degree. Yes, it's McDonald's.
I mean, again, McDonald's will forever be like just a staple.
It will.
French fry, like it's the same everywhere you go.
That's what I'm saying,
and that's why it's a thing of beauty.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Now, 30 seconds as soon as they cool off, they're hot
trash.
garbage.
Yeah, I'll always eat my McDonald's fries before my sandwich.
Oh, I'm eating them on the way home.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like they don't make it home.
Yeah,
like,
correct.
Did you get fries before? Yo, McDonald's is literally 2 seconds up the street.
They shorted us an order of fries. Like, yep.
So now my argument when you're talking about potato wedges and JoJo's,
yes,
I don't think those are fries. I think fries are something that you can legitimately grab like a handful of and eat.
But I feel like most people consider those fries.
They're a type of fried potato. Like, are we going to get into like
Fair
our
enough.
tots fries too?
No.
Okay.
I do
So
not
like,
consider that
I don't
fry.
think that, I don't
Okay,
consider
all
it
right.
a fry.
That's fair enough. I can go with that argument. See, look at me. I can grow. I can listen to an argument.
I mean, I can't argue cornhole, but hell, talk about French fries. Watch me light up.
Yeah. Curly fries are okay. I have to be in the mood, but like, I've never been a French fry guy though.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't know why. I know I look like I should be a French fry guy, but I've just never been a French fry guy. Like, they're okay. But
I mean, I'm definitely more like typically more about the sandwich at an establishment, and the fries are just the accompaniment.
yeah.
But again, Penn Station is just that rare spot. Like,
Fair enough. Okay.
I could literally go to Penn Station and just order fries
That's fair.
and be happy.
Fair enough. Let me see. What else I wrote? We already talked about the Graham versus Ellis rivalry. The other one I didn't even talk about.
Yeah.
What if Kano and Ellis make the finals again? That's like an instant rivalry,
Yeah.
right?
Instant rivalry.
I mean, I know I
done,
didn't even
and-
mention it before, but like that's very realistic possibility that we're going to see the same matchup in national number
And
2.
I would love nothing more. Like, no offense to the Ellies out there, but if
Kano
they do
to
face
win.
off,
Oh,
I
yeah.
want Kano to win.
Oh,
it.
you want to
Yeah.
level it out because
Yeah,
it's a good
I-
talking
Yeah,
point.
exactly. Like, that's just drama for the rest of the season.
Correct.
We could chit-chat about.
100%. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, same thing could happen in doubles too.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know why.
Lots of
Jamie Graham, this is
possibilities.
a new voice, so I figured.
so basically, Jeremiah Ellis is really good.
Yes.
So is Gavin Kano. Long story short.
Yes. All right. Let me pull up. We got a whole bunch of listener questions today. I love it. The first one I pull up is from ACL Pro Steve Schroeder. Who's the favorite to win teams now that half of the season is over? And Tom Stranger replied, they probably don't know the standings. Tom Stranger would be correct.
100% correct, but I'm going
Ohio
Aviators all
Yes,
day.
correct. Ohio Aviators, ride or die, or fly or die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and hey, Tom Stranger, why don't we know the standings?
Can
That's
we-
the true question.
Do we just need to have Tom Stranger on like once every like 2 weeks? Is like a ACL teams update.
Yeah, Tom, if you want to record something, just send it to us. We'll just pop it in.
We have you hop on, but then we
Because I can't follow it. I wish I could.
Let's see. John Mendoza wrote, "Can we get the Big Asp Cornhole podcast to cover a day or live stream court at Worlds?" Well, we're not going to be at Worlds
Yeah,
unless
so-
if they would like to pay us to go down to cover live stream court, we would be there.
We would go. Yeah.
We would find a time in our heart to go out there. Okay. James Emery, like this question. Do you think there should be more outdoor pro events?
Yes.
100%. Yes, I agree. It's an outdoor. It would start as an outdoor game. I think going back to the roots of it, even if it's just one tournament a year, and I'm not counting Spencer's. All right, we're talking ACL Nationals.
Yeah.
One event a year. Just, I mean, look, what hockey does it, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I know it's just the one game, but like, why not
Still.
have one national year outdoors? 100%. Yes, I do
Yeah,
think.
and
that
I
there's more
honestly-
outdoor pro events.
They just have to make sure they have a contingency plan for indoors. Just in case. You never know.
All right, Corey Fredrickson, like this one. What are your thoughts on the following as tournament events to break the mold? All right, you have a mystery bag, which your bags you have to use are a surprise once you arrive.
Okay. I like that.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I take something. You have another one is one bag to rule them all. Everyone is throwing the same bag, and then the other one is airmail only.
So scratch airmail only.
I agree.
Get that out.
I
do like the bag stuff though.
I like the mystery bag.
Because we brought this up before talking about like the different nationals, and we're like, what if like each big bag company would like own a national?
Yeah.
And then like BG's national, everyone had to throw BG. But again, there's too many bag companies to do that nowadays. But
With how it's currently set up, you can't make that
yeah,
work.
but like I wouldn't have minded it in the past because then like Ultra could go in and be like, oh yeah, like.
But what if we're
imagine
talking
everyone
about-
throwing Vikings?
Don't
or
think
something.
national. Just think about local level, like if you're running an event kind of
Yeah.
thing. Do you think there could be enough interest in like a mystery bag tournament? Like what if you show up, you pay your entry fee, right? And then you have to pull a number.
Yeah.
All right. And then you get paired up with your partner, right? And then that number is also going to get drawn with a pair of bags. And those are the bags you got to use.
I love that.
Dude, I think that would be tons of fun.
And honestly, Sean, we could do that. We have enough
Oh, yeah.
sets of bags lying around that we could literally just have that with 100 teams.
No, I think that
added.
would be a lot of fun.
Is that the added element that we throw into the Big Asp Open?
I mean, so I definitely dig that. The one bag to rule, everyone throwing the same bag. I don't mind that.
Well, I think there was another question in there about like,
Yeah.
should there be a corn bag tournament? I don't agree with the corn bag, but I like this version of it where one bag to rule them all. Everyone throws the same bag, but they have to all be broken in the exact same way.
Yes.
Nobody can be at a disadvantage. Like you can't throw non-broken in bags either, like they did back with like the first launch of the Game Changer and stuff.
Correct. Tim Crumrine writes, if the game is tied 20-20, do you want the lead bag or second bag?
Give me second bag all day.
Okay, so I was thinking about this. I read this earlier. I kind of agree with you, only I'm also a mental head case where if I know if I'm throwing first, that means I scored last,
Yeah.
right? I was the last person to score points, so I had more success going into it. So I feel like mentally I should actually want first bag.
See, if I see them,
Now, if they shank their first bag,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I know, especially if they shank a bag right, I knew.
I can honestly
That
say
was good.
like I don't ever remember a time that I've missed a fourth bag to like wash out a round when it was on the line. I have, however, smelled blood in the water and won that shit as soon as they shank it and put all four in numerous times. I feel like I have a more innate ability when I see them miss to just go for it. When I have the first bag in my hand, for some reason, my first bag, I can almost always guarantee you, is going to go left. And I don't know. I like even know this, and I'm trying to like break that mental hurdle.
It sucks.
And I'm like, damn it. And then it's always just close enough that I'm like, I can pull this. Then my next one's going to be a missed push, and then it's just all done. I'm giving up 7.
All right, Davin wants to know, if you had to throw underhand between your legs for one game, who would win, Sean or Dane?
I think I have a little bit more flexibility than you.
Depends. Are we talking about like snapping it like a football, or do I have to like...
I mean, see, I can still do like the loop around underneath the leg.
If we're talking the loop around, yes,
Yeah.
I'll give you that one because there's no way I would. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it just really depends. Because snapping I've tried too. That's not easy. That's anyone's game. We'd have to play that game to like 3 because I don't think we can. Blood would rush into our head. We'd pass out.
Yeah. This is like I mean, I don't know if you realized this was the correct podcast, but Kevin Lowry writes, is cornhole more like golf now or tennis? Tennis has the same people at the top often. Golf right now, anyone can win a tournament. I think it was more like tennis before, but now it's more like golf.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think Xander Schauffele's and all those guys are showing that like the normal people are kind of sitting at the top of golf right now, right?
I get what he's saying. Golf, like you can't have like somebody come.
Yeah, we've
from
seen amateurs and
nowhere.
stuff like come up and
You don't really. I mean, we see it very rarely in the cornhole world. Most of the time, it's people that like we're all expecting.
I mean, we
that
were
are
talking
gonna be
about
going
like
there.
Tony Forbes, like being an elite level player, making that run.
Little spider action here.
Oh, look at that,
Spider dropped right in front of Dane's face. I'm saving his life right now.
dude! I could have became Spider-Man.
You could have. Right in front of my face.
He's dead,
You sure it's just slow people.
or
down.
she. I can't tell. I can't tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a really good comparison. In golf, obviously, you have like the big names. They don't always win the tournament, but there tend to be near the top. You can make that comparison to cornhole.
Yeah,
Tennis is like it's been dominated by like the same 4 people for like forever in men's.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, they're the ones that we remember, but we're also not like a huge tennis community. So like,
is that more like cornhole, where it's been dominated by like 3 or 4 people, but there have been other people that have won along the way?
I think we're about to see a shift in tennis become more like cornhole,
Okay, meaning what?
where I think it's going to be more of a crapshoot coming up soon.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think those are the 2 sports again.
But I get the argument. He's saying like, you know, is it just the same names right now? Yeah, we're kind of seeing the same names, but
yeah.
we have guys like
National
Tony
1 and 2
Forbes
show-
making that run.
Yeah.
It is that level of play, and the game is so fickle that like just a little bit of luck, you could find yourself in the finals.
Correct. Kyle Butler, Cornhole Jesus, wants to know: do you eventually see the ACL producing its own bags like the MLB, etc. does? Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
eventually, yes. I think that they might, or if they were going to severely limit the amount of brands that they're allowed to use.
Yes, I think that writing's on the wall. Like,
And I
we're
think
gonna
it really,
see, like,
it comes down to when does like a big company, like maybe like a Nike or a Reebok or an Adidas, when do they decide to be like, all right, it's worth our time to start
yeah,
doing
might
this
as
stuff?
well just hop on in this. Like, we can get the fabrics way cheaper. And
Yeah,
bust out way
correct.
more
You know what I
than
mean?
guys,
And
so.
like, and you put that logo on, and people are automatically
Yeah,
going to
they're
want to
gonna be
buy
like,
it.
"Shit, I want
It's going to be tough, but I think the ACL is setting up how they are to try to protect, from regardless of what people want to say. I think to try to protect the people who have been loyal to them early on in the
Yeah.
game right now, right? They don't want to screw anyone over, but it's not easy, man. I do think eventually we'll probably see a much smaller scale approach, and that just might be that everyone else can't afford it anymore.
Yeah.
There might soon enough, it might come sooner rather than later, where we only see 3 or 4 companies applying for a pro stamp because they just can't afford it.
Exactly.
And then the
I mean-
ACL can be like, well, listen, like
Yeah, we just put the rules out there. Like, these guys were the only ones that paid it.
yeah.
But I think that might go hand in hand with the whole board thing too.
I think
Once
so
you start
too.
having to chuck that in, people are gonna be like, you know what? A lot of these local people aren't going to be playing.
I mean, I
ACL
don't
stuff
think
anymore.
the lack of bag sponsorship money this year is that problem's not going away.
No.
It's only going to get worse.
Mhm.
I mean, we can tell you from personal experience. I mean, like from our sponsors here, we use codes to try to track that stuff. You know what I mean? Sales are just down, man. It's so spread out, and it's not the pandemic. Now, I'm hoping summer's coming up. More people are going to be playing. It's going to be on more people's minds. We'll start to see stuff jump up,
Yeah.
but it's tough right now, man. It's
tough
it's rough.
sledding.
Oh, I like this one. Jonathan Tyler Bird said golf tournament, but ACL cornhole players only. Anyone can play from novice to pro, but you have to play in a qualifier. Who would win?
I mean, haven't played with many cornhole pros, but I've heard that Tony Smith's really good. I've heard Ethan Walker's really good.
Yes.
Um,
I think Noah Wooten's supposed to be decent.
yeah, but I think he's so new that I wouldn't put him at their level. I think he's like gotten, better, but
Yeah, I saw they shot like an 11 under on a 4-man scramble today or something.
it's 4-man scramble.
No, I
Who's the
know
other
that,
men? That's the real question. I
Yeah, I don't know who.
mean, if it's long drive competition, give me Dan Lambert all
Yeah, for
day.
sure.
Good Lord. But yeah, I don't know enough about the pro players playing golf to really.
Well, and then, again, novice to pro. I mean, you could have some, like golf professional be like a novice ACL player.
yeah, I mean, honestly,
come out and
Matty
dominate.
King's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Reggie Reichs is really good.
Yeah. I
Shout
think
out to you,
there's,
Reggie.
I feel like there's a lot of good golfers.
There's a lot of good golfers in the game.
Correct.
I just I don't know enough names out there. I mean, I think you and I could actually be decent. If it's a 4-man scramble, I think we could put together a team that could be pretty competitive against anyone.
Yeah. I think so. We have before.
That we have.
Let's see. Levi Wise wants to say, says, can Sean compete with Dane yet? Yes.
Always has.
Next question.
Yeah. But can I compete with Sean? That's the real question now.
Aaron Washa, what's the best tournament you have yet to attend? I'll give you a hint. The Baggerland Bag Brawl. I know that is one of them that's on our list of ones that we need to go. I would say the best tournament we haven't attended yet. I mean, no offense to but it's got to be Spencer's.
It's Spencer's, yeah. But we will be attending that.
Yeah, that's that. Josh Wright, he has said he has 2-part question. Roughly how many TikTok, Facebook Reels would you say Adrian Johnson has produced? And out of how many of those was it to the moon?
See, he probably puts out like three or 4 a week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying he's got to be close to 1,000.
Easily, yeah.
Right?
He's been doing this shit as long as we've been doing it.
Yeah, listen, he's been very good at it. So
I'll give him
Adrian
3,000.
Johnson. Okay. Yeah. Troy Hauser, he's still alive. It's cool.
What?
Yeah, no, it's weird. So he does still see our stuff. That's good. How do you like waiting 2 weeks on bets on players? I personally think it's terrible, and I'm not sure if I'll continue betting on cornhole due to the wait. In terms of betting, yeah, fucking blows.
Yeah,
It does
'cause
suck
then-
waiting.
Yeah, it's like they're just getting you the edge and then they never let you finish.
Yeah, like I'm not betting on a futures here. Like
Yeah.
I want, goddamn it, I want the
right
results
now.
right now. But I've come around to it. Like I get why they're doing it for the overall growth of in quotes the growth of the game. Right, our favorite phrase.
Oh yes.
But I don't know. For betting, it does suck. I completely agree. But for the overall benefit of hopefully people are gonna fucking show up to this next event. If it is not a good showing in Vegas, which has me worried a little bit,
Dude.
they better be
Yes.
comping people tickets left to right. And this needs to be a better filled out show. So if you're going to the Vegas Open, make some time, carve out 2 hours of your day,
Go to
the fucking broadcast.
Yeah.
Just go. They're actually a good time. And if you're a Cornhole fan, they're good matches.
Yes,
So go check it out.
It's the best of the best going down.
Look at us marketing for them.
I know.
Crazy. Matt Barger says, should the ACL have one corn bag tournament? Let's see who really has skill. I feel like the only issue with that is what stage of corn bag are we getting?
Yes.
Are they all brand new corn-filled bags? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, like I said, we're trying to change up a national every once in a while.
Again, I would be more on the side of let's play all the same bag. And again, it can be suede and duck cloth. Who cares? That could just be everyone's bag, but I just want them somewhat broken in because I still want to see some crazy shots.
Bud Dotson wrote, is there a more overhyped event than the NFL schedule release? Yes. WNBA draft.
Just this year, though.
Had to be said. Had to be said.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something funny.
I kind of think we have to do this next one on film. At
Go
some
ahead.
point.
I don't care. Ask it now.
Which one of y'all could run a faster 40-yard dash after 6 beers and why?
No, the question would be who would puke first after it.
So is it like we have to crush 6 beers immediately and then run 40
Or can we
yards?
just leisurely drink 6
And then we're just after we're 6 beers deep, then we got to go run this 40.
I mean, growing up, you were definitely faster than me.
For sure. I don't know if I am anymore.
I didn't become fast until college.
I was gonna say 10 years ago, I would say I would win.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know anymore.
I mean, I still got my stride.
We're gonna do this now.
Yeah, we can do it.
It's good. The weather's
Sean,
nice.
all right, so we have to actually stretch and shit because we can't be blowing out ACLs and
Fuck
stuff
no,
before.
man,
Sean,
Listen.
40 yards is a long way now, man.
I know. Well aware.
God,
Well aware.
That's almost halfway to 100.
Is the timer is it supposed to be at 10 yet?
What? Did I just run that in 8 seconds? Fuck.
Okay. So Nicholas Howell has one of the best things ever, and I love this. And let me read it first. It says, with all the hype around the Netflix Tom Brady roast, it's got me wanting to hear some more zingers. I say you should both roast some of your favorite players, bags, commentators, or each other. I'm gonna put a pin in this because I want to adequately prepare for this. So my challenge to you is we could come up with a roast of ACL cornhole players that we do on an episode.
Yeah, we can do that.
How much time do you think you need?
I mean, all right, so can
2
we go that hard in the paint?
We are an independent.
Oh, I know, but I
podcast.
mean, do we want to go as hard as they
Dane,
went?
it is a roast. We'll make it well known that it's a roast episode. It'll probably be a Patreon exclusive,
Fair enough.
right? We'll doctor it up. We'll make it into a nice video, but I think we'll do a little roast Patreon exclusive episode here.
Yeah, we'll make it as hard to find as Greg Geary. What did I say? What happened? What? All right. We'll be right back.
That was so good. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. No, so yeah, I think a week or two.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I want to be able to write some stuff.
You know me, I don't even need time. All right.
I know that's why you would be so much better than that. I need time to prepare, but I just want to have talking points.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Please
Just want to
don't.
write your script. I got you.
Yes.
All right, Drew Bledsoe.
I might even get a little teleprompter right here in front of me.
Just scrolling in the corner of the screen. Just, Dane, can you scroll down? I'm scrolling it for you.
You gotta feel my tempo.
I'll just wiggle it back and forth
my
on
God.
you.
What I'm thinking is we could record it and have a live Patreon audience. I feel like that might be fun. At least we'd have laughs in the background. Hopefully, it'd be
I
all
mean,
delayed. And
I would
shit.
if people would want the floor too. I'd be like,
Oh yeah,
take it away.
So Nick, thank you. But yes, it is going to be coming up. I love that idea. Jesse, okay, I'm assuming it's Fountain, but I don't know if it's Fontaine. Anyways, he wants to know: do you think it's okay if juniors that are playing at the elite/pro level still play in the junior division? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's almost like you're getting to that pro status.
If you're an elite or you're
be
pro,
out of
you're a
the
pro. You're no
juniors.
longer like an amateur player. You shouldn't get to participate in the junior events.
Yeah, because there needs to be some. If they're going to keep juniors in the pro division, there needs to be some sort of divide.
Yes.
In order to, as we love to say, grow the sport.
Now listen, the the best junior players want to play against the other really good junior players.
Yeah.
But you got to get there 1st. Like it doesn't make any sense that like the Gore brothers are going into the juniors and just fucking.
I mean,
wreaking
can
havoc.
they? Or have they? Been
Yeah,
there?
fuck yeah.
They're still playing.
Braden Wilson.
That's true. Okay, yeah, Braden's killing it.
No, you know what I
Trader
mean?
and all
Like,
them. Yeah. Gotcha.
So
okay.
it's just I do agree. I don't think they should be allowed to play in the junior once they make that elite or pro status, and that's a decision they can make.
Yeah.
They could say no. They could keep playing in like the junior events and stuff, but if they want that pro status, then
It's a fun
I
way
think
for a
somebody gotta
young
give
kid
up.
to showcase his talent.
For sure.
Get his name out there.
It's again, I feel like it's a hindrance when you put like a pro player in that junior division. It can be discouraging if some guy is
Yeah.
getting like waxed kind of thing.
But then what if you had somebody like Jaden Ellis who just didn't want to become let's just say he didn't want to become a pro and just stayed a junior the whole time and just run the gambit every juniors tournament for 5 years? That doesn't grow it either.
No, that's true. This is a few people actually said something along this term, not exactly the sentiment, but Cody wants to know, why is the ACL media team so bad at keeping the average follower up to date? Why don't they post brackets? They posted about Cornhole Mania. How did those players get picked? Did they win their bracket? What's the deal with teams? Do they have standings like the other pro sports? Is there a playoff system? I will say that if you're a casual fan of Cornhole, like you're gonna have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I mean, again, look at us. I didn't even fucking know that the pro shootout.
What's
counted for
going on
points.
with teams?
Yeah. I think that right now, people need to realize that as much as we love this game and we want to grow, I think the ACL organization as a whole is very small. I do not think there's a lot of man hours behind the scenes right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like because we all see the potential of the growth, we all want these kind of things to happen, that there's the infrastructure is just not there yet to be able to make these things happen.
Yeah, they don't have that outside investor with.
Do I think that they're marketing it correctly
get it
across
out
the
there.
boards and like no, because like they're not appeasing the one group of people that are actually watching their shit. They're so concerned about growing, like getting the new getting the new people,
Yeah.
which I get, it's important, but you still
You got to
gotta
toe the line.
you still
gotta
gotta take care of the people
you gotta
that
keep
got
the
you
people
here.
interested. Yeah.
You got to, and it's really hard to kind of follow along when why haven't you posted like this? Like, why did I have to go on the app
Yes.
to go find it? You
To
know what I
go
mean? If
find
I'm a
it, yeah.
casual fan, I might not even know you have a fucking app.
Yeah, I mean, did they they used to be really good at like posting the brackets and stuff.
Like
but
you
now
can
it's
go on and find like the results from Cornhole Mania, but like you couldn't find the final brackets. You'd have to
Yeah.
go on to the now again. This is Monday. They by Wednesday they will probably have posted an article with a preview and all the links and stuff. But I do get it. Like we've said it 1,000 times, it can be frustrating trying to follow along with stuff.
You've
But
had a whole week. Where's the article?
Yeah.
How hard is it to write 200 words on what's about to happen, like and
I get
post it up?
Steve Witherspoon wants to know, will you guys be in Canton for the Open and will you be recording? So yes, we will be in Canton. As for recording, we hope so. I'm going to reach out to the powers that be for the ACL and see if they'd be cool with us bringing some equipment to record. But as long as they give us the blessing, then yeah, we'd be down to record some stuff.
We be down. I mean,
Hell yeah.
we'll probably set up outside because it's
Fuck yeah, dude!
we play
it's so
inside
cool.
the dome, but we'll
If you're
just set up somewhere outside.
If you're like kind of on the fence about attending like an Open, like it's a pretty sweet venue.
It is. I mean, the dome's sweet.
And if you're a football fan at all, it's dumb for you not to go.
You have to go check out the Hall of Fame.
Like
If
the
you've never
Football
been,
Hall of Fame
like,
is amazing.
Yeah, I've been to basketball, baseball, and football is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Even though it's not my favorite sport of all of them.
Baseball Hall of Fame is really good too.
It is. I mean, Baseball Hall of Fame was my favorite to go see because of the history of it, and I love baseball.
I haven't been to the Football Hall of Fame. It's got to be 6 or 7 years. I
Oh,
need to go one weekend.
You need to go.
I know.
now.
I need
Yeah,
to go.
it's
I need
super
to go
interactive
another
now.
weekend.
It's
I
crazy.
know.
The heads talk to you, man.
We just need to go like one weekend, like with Dad, like
Yeah.
Father's Day weekend or something.
Or how about we go, for the Canton Open?
We
Like
could
we're
do
telling
that, too.
everyone else to do it.
we can too.
Why don't we all just do?
That's Irish Fest weekend too.
Oh my God! What
Yeah.
a blast!
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
gonna be a
Jesus,
shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we rent like a van service
Dude,
for that
I
weekend?
would love to rent like a party bus just to go back and forth with that and not be sweet.
Like, we just have you all weekend, but all right. I can only work 10 hours at a time. All right, we'll break them up.
So the last question was, will board stamps absolutely kill the ACL at a local level? What league has the money to buy all new boards? Listen, it's hard right now. Again, I don't know all the costs involved with everything, but I can just think of here, like all the people that are local. Yeah, they're just going to be like, well, no, I don't need to run local points stuff.
Doesn't need to be for points.
So it's going to be put more on like the conference directors to then run more local events for people to then be able to then chase these, unless they're going to change the whole point structure eventually.
Yeah.
And if that's like something we just don't know yet, but they have in line to be coming up. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
I do think it's going to hurt a lot of the local people, and I think that the local leagues you're not going to find very many like ACL like blind draws around. I think you're going to find a lot of people just jumping ship, say fuck it, I'm just going to go score Holio. Why pay all this extra money when if I was going to get new boards anyways, I can just keep that money that I would have gotten from the sponsorship and build the league instead of having to then give a portion over. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm not. They just need to not do it.
I don't think it's a great move, but
Yeah.
I get if they're trying to like. I feel like their argument's going to be they're trying to like standardize the process. Like,
All right, but
it's the same thing. Like if we put our stamp on there, we're giving our seal of approval that these boards are good. Well, we already know what's a good fucking board. Like there hasn't been like that many. And like, pros know that if they're going to an ACL event, they know they're going to be on the ACL boards.
yes.
Why the fuck does it matter what boards we throw on a Tuesday night?
If I go to an open,
shouldn't
guess what?
fucking
I know
matter.
you're supplying the boards, so like,
But I digress. You want to cue the rap horn?
do I ever?
Reach us at Facebook and all the other ones at Big Asp Cornhole.
Podcast.
Yep. Nailed it.
Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit Draggin Bags to get some great bags. We love the Power Dragon. Head over to dragginbags.com and drop code BIGASP12 at checkout.
Don't forget about Black Sheep Baggers. If you go to blacksheepbaggers.com, use code Big Asp, you're going to save yourself a little bit of money. If you're in the market for boards, we were just talking about boards and stamping them all over the place. Well, hurry up and grab your set without a stamp. You go to gnarlybags.com. Can't recommend them enough. Really high quality stuff, great printing, play consistent, and they're going to hold up true for many, many years, many seasons. So go to gnarlybags.com, use code Big Asp, and you're going to save yourself 10%.
Yeah, the ACL won't come take them away from your backyard.
They won't.
So they're safe there.
They won't.
Last but not least,
Never.
Big D Bag. Sean's ripping the jersey right now, and we love to say it. Nothing feels better in your hands than a big old floppy D. So if you want that girth, go over to bigdbags.com and get your set today. Wasn't there a code that was dropped too?
Yes.
I thought I saw.
So Big Asp 10.
Big Asp 10.
We'll save you 10% or no, $10 off of your order.
$10 off. That could be more or less than 10%.
Wow.
I'm no mathematician. But go over to Big D Bags.
Especially
and
if you
save yourself
listen
some
to
money,
the show
man.
and you're an ACO person.
Oh, dude.
Dude, they're killing it in the
Yeah.
ACO right now.
Yeah, great bags. So yeah, if you want to save yourself some money, Big Asp 10 at checkout at Big D Bags.
Hell yeah. And if you're like listening to the show and you're like, man, I really like these guys, I would love to support them somehow. Well, you can. If you go to patreon.com/Big Asp Cornhole, for the price of a beer a month, you can support us in what we're doing. We do monthly happy hours, bag giveaways, just a whole bunch of fun, random content.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're going to do this. We got to do the cornhole roast now.
Yes, we will.
It's going to
we
be
will do that.
Yeah, correct.
For sure.
We'll be doing another happy hour here in the month of May. But yeah, so we greatly appreciate everyone's support. If you go to patreon.com/Big Asp Cornhole, you can help us out there.
Heck yeah. And then last but not least, Big Asp Open.
Yes.
September 21st, mark your calendars. Us with Top Golf putting on the first ever joint tournament of Top Golf and Cornholery. It shall be a great time. You got to squad up. It's going to be teams of 4.
Registration's coming up.
Registration's coming up in June. And then, if you were
Less than a month
if
away.
you know of a company that would love to sponsor the event, please reach out. We have a sponsorship deck that we will send out to anyone that's willing and interested. And yeah, that's all we got.
It's gonna be a banging time. I'm really excited.
Hell yeah.
It's all coming together. It's gonna be very excited. Our the line of polos that we're having made for this, the sample is gonna be in this week, and then we'll give the thumbs up, and then orders are gonna start flying off the shelf, and registration is gonna open a month, and we're gonna have fun.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, in that order. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the interview or this episode. It was kind of a random. We're going to have the interview with Jamie and Frank. If they somehow don't show up, then you're going to hear just emptiness. It's just going to be a void. And then I'll probably pop on and be like, hey, they didn't show up. But they're professionals. They're going to show up.
Yeah.
So hope you guys enjoy the interview. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Asp Cornhole Podcast, where we are now joined by Mr. Jamie Graham and Mr. Frank Modlin. What's going on, guys?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. It's been a minute. We were just saying before that it was almost a year to the day, Frank, that you were on last time. So it's just weird how timing works out and everything.
Our anniversary.
Yeah, it is. It's an honor to have you back. So thank you, Jamie. It's been a minute since you've been on. I'm trying to think. It had to be like 2-3 years ago that you were on last time.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time.
Well, he's had a chip on his shoulder ever since you
It's all good,
didn't
man.
Pick him for Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Jamie, don't worry. I got your back. All right. People don't forget, Sean.
Wow. That's how weird. All right. So anyways, so you guys had an exciting off season, right? Jamie, you had been playing with Matt for the last few seasons. You guys had a really good run. Free agency period comes up. You decide to go a different direction. Can you kind of just walk us through ultimately how you came to this decision to play with Frank and sign with All Cornhole and step away from Fire?
Yeah, shout out to Fire and all them. Jason's still a good friend of mine. Great company, but it just comes down to business for me. It was a really good. Plus, me and Frank are really good friends outside of Cornhole, and I've said it before. Me and Matt didn't have that type of friendship. We were just on business on the boards, and for me, I feel like you need both with how much talent there is out there. And Frank's also a great player. He's been playing, if not as long as me, longer than me. So he definitely has what it takes to play at a high level. But it definitely came down to business and friendship. Me and Frank ran it in 2020, and we actually had a really good year. I feel like COVID itself kind of ruined that, and we didn't get to have a full season. So kind of excited to run it back with Frank and see what we can do. And here we go, second national. We're in the Final Four. Get a chance to win national number 2.
What do you guys think about this waiting period that you have now? So, you obviously roll through the bracket, and traditionally you'd roll through the bracket. You might wait a little bit, but then that same day you're going to be playing, or maybe the next day, but it'd be that same weekend that you're then playing the finals or the semifinals. Now you guys have like a 2-week waiting period. We've discussed why the ACL does it. I get it. What, as players, do you like that time to prepare, or do you are like, hey, like we were hot 2 weeks ago. We all know how that can change from night to night. I would have rather played it then.
For me, I guess it go both ways, where if it works out in your favor in 2 weeks, you're like, yeah, I like that wait. But if it don't, you're like,
Listen, that's the most honest answer I've ever heard. That's the correct answer. It really is. It's right,
Yeah.
right? It all depends.
I think most players probably would say they'd rather go ahead and play it just because the board conditions and how you're throwing. I think everything is already there immediately. The weight is a little bit of a different challenge because we're not exactly sure what we're going to be walking into. It is still out on the West Coast, so we feel like that the conditions will be similar, but it really all depends. You've got your building conditions that you have to consider. So I think if it were up to us, we would have went on and played it then. But we understand the reasons. They want to fill the seats, and we want to have a lot of people in the stands as well. Just for that hype, it gets us pumped up.
What Frank? Like you've been a game like around the game for a while. You've been an influential player. What do we have to do to fill the seats? Because I mean, National won. It was not to me like if listen. I'm just trying to be a positive critic here, right? But it wasn't a great look when we're looking out. They pan out. There's just nobody there. It's like what is it going to take to get people to go to these events?
So I think somehow or another it's just about figuring out how we can entertain the crowd. Me personally, I think that we're going to have to figure out some ways to make it more family friendly.
Okay.
Because a lot of times that's where your fans come from. Families looking for events to carry the kids to, or it's an adult outing. To me, it seems like we can kind of fit both categories. Yeah. We just got to figure out the right ingredients to figure out how to entertain both of those categories. Like if we could have some maybe challenges or things that some kids could do off to the side, come in and maybe some activities for them to be able to do. And then the event itself, the televised part would be the main event. But just having some things for them to do, almost, I hate to say like a carnival, but if you go to, a Major League Baseball game, they're going to have activities, or prizes or, all sorts of things for the kids to do. So
I was just going to say, I mean, I'm sure you guys haven't been to a game, but the Cleveland Cavaliers have done a fantastic job of turning it into like a family atmosphere. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, professional sports can very much be like an adults only kind of place. Oh, yeah. But they've done a very good job because they have constant things going on. Any halftime, like any timeouts, there's something going on. You know what I mean? Like, so I do feel like there is a little bit of that. Can I get your guys' opinion on something? So in the broadcast, in a teams event, we had Nate Voyer, right? So Nate Voyer was very animated during that broadcast. Jamie, I see you're smiling. Okay, so I want your opinion first. What was your okay? So I want your what were your thoughts when that was going on?
I don't even know if I want to say anything.
Listen, Nate's already been on the show. He'll stick up for himself. I think he would want to hear your answer too. So you can be honest.
I'll start off by saying, overall, I think Nate's a good guy. I've been friends with him for a while, but I try to look at it from a spectator's point of view, not just another pro player. And just going off by what other people saw it and kind of talked about it, but like, I guess he had a little bit too much fun. I put it like that. In my eyes, it's good to have fun up there. But overall, it just in my eyes,
did you think it was too much?
He went a little over.
Okay, all right.
I think it was.
His cup of fun overflowed.
Right. I mean, listen.
Yeah, he definitely had a little bit too much fun in my eyes. I don't know if that was what he was supposed to do, because I don't know what was said behind closed doors. But just watching home, kind of was just questionable in my eyes. That it's like some people already think we're a joke, cornhole's a joke, and now it's like now you're giving them a reason now to say that cornhole can be a joke.
Listen, I honestly, I can completely understand that point. I really do. I've been a big advocate of saying, get cornhole off the fucking Ocho channel. All right. If we want to be taken seriously, we can't be put on this like gimmick sports day kind of thing. So along that sentiment, I do kind of see 100% like where you're coming from. My only thing was without that moment, that broadcast was completely dead. Like it was so boring. You know what I mean? Like it need at least it was something memorable. At least there was something out of it. I get, was it over the top? Yeah. And I think even Nate would admit that at times maybe he went a little bit too much, but at least it was something. I mean, I recommend, at least the guy was trying something. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think normal Nate does that though. I think beverages got him acting that way.
I think he was
But
excited that his son was there, and that he knew that he could be a positive role model for all the kids that he teaches to watch. So he wanted to try to have as much fun as he could. And obviously, I think you can get caught up in a moment, and that's fine. But to me, was it over the top? Maybe a little bit, but was it cheesy? Yeah, but I still think it looked like he was still having fun with it. That's at least what I took out of it.
Yeah, he was definitely having fun. Would you rather the broadcast be even on not going forward, or would you rather that happen and now we go back 3 steps in a way? Like the broadcast was like low key kind of born just from how the play was. It was spots at their big spot, backs off the back. But like I said, I still think Nate's a good dude, and everybody messes up, and everybody has fun every once in a while, but I'm sure he's learned from it.
His new nickname is going to be Showtime.
Frank, what did you think when you saw it?
A bit of a shock factor, because that's a different Nate than what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
I'm just like Jamie. I think a lot of Nate. I think he's done a lot of great things for the sport. I know he does a lot with his kids and stuff at school, and I think that it was more of a whoa, who's this guy? Factor for at least the pro side of us. We're really in this confused state of where we're going to exactly fit in as a sport. You've got your professional sports that are the elite of the elite. They're out there showing their skills that no one else has. Everybody else is trying to reach that, skill set. Then you've got your other televised events, maybe like wrestling and things like that. Of course, they have talents and they have skills, but there's also an entertainment factor that's a little bit different, I think, than performing a sports skill. So I still think that we're kind of figuring things out. And
okay, all right. So
would you walk out to a WWE intro if for a cornhole match?
Oh my God. Heck yeah. I would love it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of stuff I want.
You phrased it perfectly, I think. And I'm interested to hear what you say. You said, like, we're still trying to figure out where we fit in. Where do you see us fitting in? For like, what's the best for us? Like, if I'm granting you're a czar of cornhole, right? You can make any decision you want. We have to follow what you say. What direction should we go? Like, is this teams aspect? Is that it? Should we go a different route? Like, what's your gut feeling telling you?
I think that the teams aspect is a great idea. I'm not sold on the 16-man team. I think it needs to be a smaller number. There's a lot of reasons for that. Jamie knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's too many things that a coach or the manager has to be concerned with right now that shouldn't be a concern. Like in a true sport, you should be able to play your best players to win. Like you're not out there to please anybody. You're not out there to worry about somebody's feelings. We're here to win, and whatever I have to do that is what I'm going to do. In the cornhole world, we're all friends. We don't like to hurt feelings, and we don't like for people to feel left out. So there's a little bit of that. So I think at some point when the role of the coach or the manager and the player is completely out of the player's hands, that'll make things a lot better, because then the decisions will be made without I'm not saying without considering feelings at all, but at least a lot more about play than about worried if somebody's going to be upset. I heard something on I was watching ESPN the other night, and it was actually talking about hockey, and it was talking about how entertaining it was to go to a live hockey game. I've never been to one, but
It's one of the best. It's one of the best
exciting
live sports to go to.
Yeah,
ever.
That's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Because it's deathly silent during the game, and you can hear the players on the ice. It's crazy. It's bizarre.
So here's what they made a comment. They said exactly what you said right then. They literally said that it's the most exciting live event that you can attend, and they said it's kind of like a nightclub, and then a hockey game breaks out.
Pretty much, yeah,
yeah. So I really think that is a part, and I know you've got all your music rights and all that those things that we have to get beyond.
Yeah.
But I think that making it more of at least a controlled party scene, meaning that by controlled I mean it could still be kid friendly as well.
Yeah.
But I think that if we could really just liven up our audience, liven up during the play, Jamie will tell you the same thing. It's not the noise of the audience. I don't think we're like golf in that regard. It's those outbursts that really make a bigger difference than a complete, like the crowd is just going crazy over every shot. I think most of the players would like that. But it seems like we're really, really loud right before we get ready to play and hyped up, and everybody's about, the crowd is into it. And then it's these bags are live, and then it's cricket.
I feel like everyone's too afraid because of the broadcast. Like everyone wants to be like buttoned up and polished when listen, sometimes we have to embrace the roots of the game. Like we're allowed to be loud. We can chirp a little bit. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that's enough to then make the entertainment better and as a whole package. I agree. I do agree.
100%.
Can I touch on,
always got to call for the airmail.
Can I touch on one thing real fast before it slips my mind? You made a comment before about how you think the teams event or the teams themselves should be smaller. Now, does that mean that you make the teams smaller and you have more teams, or does that mean you think that there are too many pro players? Interesting.
I don't know if I need to make a comment on that.
I've asked everyone recently. Do you think so there's currently I think 256 of you guys, right? Is that too many? Like for it to be sustainable for the pro players to eventually make a living to do it, right? 256 is a lot of individuals.
Yeah, I think in the future, and this is nothing that I've heard or anything like that. But
no, I get that.
I think most people would say that number will shrink in the future. Okay. Just like you said, just to make it more manageable. And eventually you want this pro division where the guys that are actual true pros are making a living at this. They're doing this as their profession. Right now we have a handful or maybe more, but I think that to get to that point quicker, that number probably will have to shrink. I think having a bigger, a larger semi-pro division would be better, and then a smaller pro division.
Okay. Jamie, what do you think about that?
I'm with Frank. There is a lot of pros, and back to the teams thing, Frank's talking about you get a lot of people on TV for the teams that would only ever be on TV because of the teams, and it can get pretty ugly up there real quick. That from a spectator's eye, it's like my Uncle Joe can do that.
Correct.
And it kind of looked bad in a way. And even top pros, like when the boards are quick, they don't look too good either. And that's one thing I think that needs to be worked on is getting the board speeds equal to what we play on all day. And I get it though. Like I understand behind the scenes why, like you got to put the sponsors on the boards. I understand that. But yeah, I think eventually it has to be a lower amount of pros to where every pro is getting paid really good money. But I don't know what we have to do to get there. But yeah, it is what it is right now. We just got to keep working.
How is it being like a manager of a team? Is it tough?
Sucks.
Does it?
like I can't warm up because I'm running around on ups. Like we really should have a manager on the team that's there, but I have to do all that and I have to warm up. And like if me and Frank lose, that's one of the top teams on our team losing, and that's why right now we are sitting dead last in our division. But because I think the Carolina Coasters are one of the top teams there with all our talent on the team.
Yeah,
just
I get it.
It just sucks, man. Not setting people on the bench that I have to because I have no other option, and people getting mad, and it's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, you having issues with everyone making it to your guys' matches? So I know some teams are having issues like having to put a lot of subs in and stuff.
So far we haven't. We've had everybody there. The last national, Cameron Holland couldn't come, which was actually worked out fine because Austin Slowbomb was sitting the bench, and originally he was supposed to play with Cameron's partner, so it kind of worked out perfect.
To work out well. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For sure. All right, so if I don't ask the question, people are going to wonder. There's an obvious change or something going on with All Cornhole, right? You guys, it's an obvious rebranding. It looks like different language, different marketing style stuff. Can you touch on that at all, like Frank, buddy?
Yeah. So a lot of changes going on behind the scenes, as everybody knows. A lot of good things in the works. I think this whole sport is evolving. We're still trying to figure out things and how to take this sport in the best direction that we can take it. And bag companies have been and still continue to be one of our biggest revenue generators in the sport. So there's a lot of moves that are happening right now behind the scenes that are for the betterment of the sport. And I feel like that we'll continue to see a lot of these moves happen moving forward. Just like we spoke about the players a few minutes ago, they're sensitive subjects because, your bottom tier of pros, I would hate to have to be the one that would say, we got to trim this thing down. I would hate to have to tell them that. And who knows, maybe we hit this major sponsorship that likes it just like it is, and we can continue forward. That would be awesome. That would be the ultimate for sure. But if that doesn't happen and we continue to move forward, I feel like things will be trimmed down to a more, like I think you had said earlier, described it the best, more manageable, because right now with the number of players and also with the number of bag companies and things, we really have a sport that is really tough to manage. There's a lot of pieces that have to be policed, I guess, and to be able to do that, it would take a large amount of people. So I think moving forward as a whole, the sport will continue to condense until it's the engine is running more smoothly. It's more polished. It's more. I don't know. I hate to say anything else. I guess that's just the best way to describe it.
Okay, so let me leave it at this. You are somebody that has a vested interest in the success of the game, right? You're a pro player, heavily involved with All Cornhole. Do you feel like we're still, as a game, do you feel like we're still going in the right direction?
Yes, I think the ACL has done a tremendous amount of things right.
Okay.
Have they done everything right? No, that's impossible.
Nobody does.
Yeah. So, a lot of times we feel like we're flying this plane. We're building this plane as we're flying it. And in some senses that may be the case, but I feel like that's the case with any sport. Like if we went back and looked at football, you know, when it's in its early phases, we probably would be really, really shocked at some of the bumps that, you know, they kind of came across. It's an evolving process. We're going to have our things that go right, and we're going to have our things that go wrong. But I think that the best thing that I think that or one of the best things that Stacy does as kind of the captain of the ship, he basically understands that the foundation is everything. If you don't have a great foundation, I don't care how tall you build it or how wide you build it, it ain't going to stand. So he's building a tremendous foundation for the sport, especially with the personnel that he brings aboard. And with that strong foundation, you know, if there's anybody that's going to take the sport to the next level, then he's going to do it. Or he'll pass it off to somebody that he knows that can. That's the thing about, you know, someone that really has a passion to, you know, to do something. And Stacy has a passion to take the sport to a true professional level. I think that we'll continue forward in a similar manner that we have been, like the same trending or whatever. But I think that our future probably is going to depend on what either the sponsors want to see from us or the fans want to see from us. So it's going to have a lot of dependencies. And right now, I just feel like that we're in that phase where we're still trying to figure out all those things.
Well, I think it's inevitable, right? That it's inevitable that changes are going to happen, because when you are running a business or you're trying to grow a company, you can't plan. This isn't a fairy tale, right? You can't plan on a white knight of a sponsor who's going to come and bail you out. If that happens, fucking great. You hit a lottery, right? Like that's great. That's the best case scenario, but you can't plan.
Right.
No successful business owner is ever running it off a best case scenario. You know what I mean? So you have to make changes. And that's why right now, just based on everything that I'm seeing, like, I just feel like I get why there's 256 pros, right? Like just based on the revenue model the ACL is built, but like, it just feels like if we ever want to take that next step and make it so that it's affordable for players to actually keep doing it, because if it keeps doing like it is, we might not be able to find 256 people to sign up for all this.
It's very true.
I mean, every year it's getting more expensive to travel. I mean, shit, we go to Arizona, we see how expensive it is. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, it costs a lot. It costs you guys a lot of money to travel, and I don't think people realize that.
Absolutely. Yeah. To me, it's almost mind-boggling why we haven't. It seems like we've made it like almost 3/4 the way up the stairs, and it's just those last few steps. You know, having the major sponsors. We've been fortunate to have like Johnsonville and Bush Baked Beans, and and you could go on and on there. But we've been really fortunate to have some of those guys come on board. I'm real anxious to see that huge beverage contract come about. And I think some of those things have been in the talks. It's not things that we probably need to be privy to at this point, but I feel like that there's some negotiations that are going on behind the scenes that they may be holding out. They know the values. They know what value the sport holds. They know what media values we have, things that I don't know for sure. So I feel like moving forward, we will see some of those things start to transpire. We've got some really good people in place with the ACO. I know you guys have heard about our new I'm not sure exactly what her title is
for
but
marketing.
She came over from MLB.
From the MLB.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that's big time. I mean, for us to be able to have somebody like that on staff is going to be a tremendous asset for the sport because she already has contacts. She's a great person. She's got a great personality. She'll be able to make things happen and open doors for us that we couldn't have opened before, I feel like.
Awesome. I want to transition over to you, Jamie, for a second. Okay. So this is gonna seem like a very random question, but we'll kind of just riff off it. Are you a bulletin board material kind of guy?
Like
do you use outside influence to motivate you? Like if I were to tell you that like you're the underdog on like DraftKings going into your match against Jeremiah Ellis, like does that bug you at all? Like does that motivate you at all to do better?
I think it would bug him because he's not an underdog. Jamie's not an underdog to anybody in this sport. That's a true statement.
Listen, I completely get it. We talked a lot about this in our portion of the episode, right? So when you guys listen to all of it, you'll hear of it. But like Jeremiah, I mean, right now, I mean, all you hear about is Jeremiah. I mean, he's the bell of the ball right now. I mean, it's nice of you to.
I'm going to give this to Jamie in a second.
Okay,
I'll give this to Jamie in a second. All right. Jeremiah deserves all props in the world.
Hell yeah.
He literally has. He's been a beast, man. That's the truth. And he's a great guy, too. He deserves every prop that he's getting right now. For one thing, he's been out there. He's literally played a lot of events, and he's been successful in a lot of those events. So he deserves all the props in the world. But my boy on the other side of the screen right here is a beast. I'm fortunate enough to be able to return the bags back to Jamie, and I see exactly what he's doing. He is as good, and that's kind of the way I like to describe things. I've always been kind of reluctant to say somebody is the absolute best in the sport because it changes. But Jamie is as good as anybody out there, and when he's on his A game, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat him. Now, going right back to Jeremiah has been on his A game for a while now, and he's proven himself for sure. So many props to him for sure. I'll let Jamie take it.
A lot of people tend to forget about me because I don't travel throughout the whole season of Opens. But me personally, I've been talking to Jeremiah. Me and him, he actually told me that I was one of his biggest influences watching me in the game before he came over. And I can see Jeremiah being a top player for years to come. I usually can see it in their eyes and how they play and how they carry themselves on the boards. And Jeremiah is definitely a dog when it comes to playing. But I like to look at years to come and just all facts of what I've done in 4 seasons with the ACL. I have a 50% chance to win the world championship. I'm 2 for 4. And if you go to not this past year, but when Mark beat me, I made another Final Four appearance. So that was 3 out of the 4 years I was a pro. I made the Final Four at the World Championship. I think I come out when the lights are on and when everything is on the line. That's why I made a post a while back about the Opens compared to, that count towards your overall titles. I don't believe in that because a national, any pro tournament is going to be, it's going to mean more in your mind to everybody else than an Open win. And I'm not taking nothing from anybody that's won an Open. I've won an Open. It does feel good. There's a lot of good talent, but there's more money on the line, more bragging rights on the line. And it means a whole lot more to win a pro event than an Open. And if you go look at the titles, me and Matt Guy are tied at 15 pro titles. And we both, I think he has one more Open win than me. And then when you go down to 3 and 4, which is Trey Birchwood and Mark Richards, it swaps. They have more Open titles and low pro titles. And Mark's, I think it's his second year as a pro. So more years to equal up to me. But I don't know, man. I just don't travel. So, like, it's hard for me to get open titles. And pro titles mean more because there's only 8 pro events. There's 16 opens. It's up to you if you want to travel, but I've never been a big traveler on going to a bunch of opens. Because it's still not easy to win an open, and it's a lot of money to spend on traveling that much and not win. But overall, man, I think when I'm on my A game, nobody in the world can touch me. I have all the shots in my arsenal, and Jeremiah is a beast, and I have to play him first round. But he just needs to hope that I'm not on my A game, or he won't be advancing to the championship.
Well, I mean, you get it done under the big lights. That's why your nickname's Showtime.
Well, it's
I'm just gonna keep using it
for
recycle it.
Yep. For one, before the season started, when we saw that you signed with All Cornhole, there's just something right. Like, I've seen you do things with like All Cornhole bags that I don't see other people do. It just seems fitting for you to throw. And then I think there was an open in was it the open or the state championship in North Carolina where you were just kind of on one that day. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, well, he's good. What are we all fucking worried about? Like, if we're coming out with power rankings and stuff, like leaving Jamie Graham out of the top 5 is ridiculous, right? So obviously top 3, like, not question, like no question about it.
Yes.
People asked me the question before the season started, if you had to put money on one guy going before the season started for a world champion, who are you putting money on? I said Jamie Graham. He's throwing All Cornhole again. Like, all he does is fucking win when he's throwing those bags, it seems like. So first national, everyone gets to throw one away, right? So second one, just going on, it just seems like it's just kind of fitting.
Natural.
Let me ask you
one example.
Go ahead.
So the first national, I didn't even throw bad. I threw in the 10s, but I was also doing this throw. I change my throw all the time, but this little step over throw, it is by far my best throw when it comes to staying straight down the middle. I feel like when I'm on, my airmail is 80% or higher. And I'm not playing stupid with it either. Like, I can still play strategic and hit push shots, roll shots with it. And but the first national, I wasn't doing that throw, and I really wish I was, because the throw I'm doing now, the step over, that's when you were talking about the state championship and the conference, where I was throwing like 56 in a row.
Yeah, it was
and all that.
ridiculous.
And for some reason, I'm an idiot. I switched it before the first national, which makes no sense. And a lot of people give me hell about that. But we're back to the step over throw, and so far at the second national, it worked out.
I mean, like, if there's anything, if you're a cornhole fan like we are, like, there's certain things you look forward to. It's like either you or Matt Guy is gonna be throwing a bag differently. You know what I mean? Every national.
Every
like
time.
You guys are just tinkerers. You know what I mean? Like, something got you. It's like things are going too well. Fuck it. Like, let's blow it up. Let's try something else. Try to win this way, kind of thing. But no, things are looking good. I'm interested in 2 things. First of all, Frank, so you've never been like you've developed one, but you've never been like known as like a roll bag guy, right? But now to be like the elite, right? We're not talking about like just a pro player. To be an elite singles or doubles player, do you feel like a player needs to have like at least that shot in their arsenal to some capacity?
Oh, absolutely. You can't just have like the traditional style play,
Okay,
where you had the slide, the block, the airmail, the push. Yeah. To try to do that in today's game is very, very difficult. It's possible. There's players that still are at the top of their game. Cheyenne Bubenheim is probably the best example in that category, because you just won't see her roll mini bags at all, but she's going to be at the end of most tournaments. And I know that's she's still the best. I mean, to me, she's still the best in the women's category. It's kind of hard to say otherwise. But she doesn't face that a lot in the women's division either. So
Correct.
In the open division, even Cheyenne will probably eventually start working on some of those shots. I feel like I think she can. I hate to say get away with it in the women's division because the women's division is as strong as it can get.
No, it's different. It's a slide game. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
I think it is the more traditional style.
Yeah.
You don't see.
Really outside
Bella,
of like
a few of them.
Bella, Miranda. I mean, they're really not like. There's really not many like dirty bag players.
Yeah.
So
right. So they don't face that quite as often. So they don't need it. But if it gets to the point where it's necessary, you'll see your elites. They'll start developing those shots for sure. But I think you definitely have to have it because relying completely on your airmails alone, there's so many situations, especially late in the game, where it's more advantageous for you to go for either a roll shot to try to get in the hole or a roll shot to try to get on the pile. Of course, then you have to realize or understand who you're playing against too, because I mean, that bar of soap ain't no joke. I mean, it's a legit thing, you know. So I've had it happen to me so many times playing some of the players like Eric Davis and even do you guys know Kobe Shearer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Carolina, young player, really, really good at those shots. So we face those all the time. So you kind of have to know in your mind who you're playing against. And like if I'm playing against Eric Davis, I'm 100% not trying to get into or any kind of a roll game or flop game with him. With the roll guys, like the ones that are really, really known for it, that they're extremely good at it, shoot it for a high percentage. I literally try to bore them to death. I want to keep that board as clear as possible. Put as many bags in the hole as I can, and I think that's the best strategy against them, because why do I want to fall into their strength?
Of course.
They'll kill me. So I need to stay away from it. But certain situations I can get up and over. I have more of a bounce flop type shot, rather than like a really nice roll looking shot.
It doesn't matter as long as it does the job. It's okay. It doesn't have to look pretty.
That's right.
I still can't do it. So like when it happens every once in a while, I'm like, oh shit. Did anyone see that? So
the crazy thing is, you were talking about Jamie with all cornhole bags.
Yeah.
It honestly it's crazy. Jamie can get to a tournament and it whatever bag that he picks up that he gets confident with it on the board that weekend, like at States and the conference. I think at one of those he was playing. I think I can't remember which is which, but it seems like at States he was throwing game changers, and he was rolling them like crazy. Like not shoot it, hope it happens, but he was like literally rolling them at a high percentage over single bags. I always say that most people out there can roll over double bag situations and that sort of thing, but to roll over a single bag situation is really, really tough.
Yes.
But then I think it was at conference, he was throwing the shags, the cornhole shag bags, and my God, nobody could keep him out of the hole. He was literally just he was sliding through, around, or over everything.
You got to reverse that.
Yeah.
It was backwards. It was States and conference.
Yeah. Dangerous.
That's fair.
Gotcha.
Right. So the rule changed this year, and all cornhole was like the first one to kind of implement this different patch bags, right? So a year ago, you came on the show. We were talking about the Game Changer Evolution. Have you yet in a pro competition used different size patches while playing?
I have not.
You have not?
I've done it a lot in practice.
Okay.
I really like the concept. And also I've seen some players do this too. Not just the different size patches, but also the newness of the bag.
Okay.
A newer bag is going to play a little bit different than a bag that you've dirtied up and you've really gritted it up and broken it down. So I really like in practice, I'm super confident with it. It's just that confidence to do it at that level.
Okay.
I must probably start next season with doing it at some regionals and seeing, kind of test the waters with it.
Okay.
I know it's the concept is definitely there. It's just a matter of getting super confident with it in your head.
Fair enough. And then Jamie, with you doing like this, the new like the step, right? When you're stepping over, what are you guys both do this little step over? What are your guys' thoughts about like the ACL officiating program and officials? Like, are you guys ones that would call for an official during a match? Like Frank, you strike me as like a rule follower kind of guy. Like, would you call an official, or like you're not even worried about something like that?
I've never once in my head thought about calling an official over. Never, ever, ever.
Okay.
I'm kind of old school in that regard. That it's just like if we were playing 1-on-1 in basketball, we know how to call our fouls or whatever.
Call your own fouls.
Feel
I
like
get that.
Yeah. I just feel like that it's why play it any different on the stage that I'm gonna play it out in the field. So out in the field, I'm gonna try to beat you, 1-on-1. If your toe goes over the line or whatever, I'm not looking for that sort of thing. You didn't beat me by that. I think while you're on that subject, and there's a lot of people probably won't like this response right here.
Okay,
but
build a show around.
Yeah, there you go.
Sean's terrible responses.
I get, is it the pro committee? Is that what it is?
The ACL pro committee,
or help making the rules,
headed by Josh Thielen.
They missed one this time.
Okay.
I think they've done a lot of great things, but they missed one this time.
What was that?
The rule was better the way that the ACL had it before. The planted foot is not a good thing.
Why?
Several reasons. Number one, it puts a little bit of a disadvantage on the person that's doing the follow through step. You're literally having to. You can't drag that toe. Like you literally have to keep it in place. So
I feel like if it stays, as long as it stays in contact with the ground, though, they're not going to call you for a dragging foot.
But they get so like it's hard for them to not call it at that point. But anyway, regardless, it should be that the back foot just has to stay within the parameters of the box, meaning it shouldn't have to stay in contact with the floor.
Okay.
If you're standing in the box and you're a stationary thrower, you could literally jump up on 2 feet and throw the bag if you wanted to. I mean, nothing has to remain on the floor. So why should a follow through step have to maintain contact with the floor? If you look at like Ryan Trader, he's a young guy. He's very flexible right now, but
he's got those nice joints.
Does that shot,
He's got those nice joints, right?
Nice
hey, listen, you're like an Autotron now, man. You're good.
God, did you just
hold on. I messed up something. What happened?
You're Dane's making fun of me, but you have you got hip replacements, right?
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, so you're like a new man. You're good.
Oh Lord. I'm in a lot better shape than I am now than I was 3 or 4 years ago, for sure. It's a world of difference. But what I was talking about with Ryan, a lot of these young guys, the positions that they're putting their bodies in to keep that foot on the floor, if you go back and look at it and you just do it in slow-mo and you hit like pause, he is in such an awkward position when he is at his very last point of the throw. Like his foot is hyperextended.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about this. Pros do this thousands of times a week. A lot of players do. And you think about that over 10, 20 years. What is that going to do to his ankles, his legs, that sort of thing? I just think it puts you in awkward positions from a throwing standpoint and from a physiological standpoint.
What would you say to the argument? Like, so the counter argument, and this is not my argument. I'm saying the typical counter argument would be like, why don't you just move back? Why don't you just set so that like when you're stepping?
That's the word.
That's what I want to hear. I would love to hear, Jamie. What would be your response to that?
That kid at the last national, she said that, and instead of typing on Facebook to these people that constantly say that, I showed her in person. This is why you don't step back. So I want you to imagine you're standing at the front of the line beside the board, right? I step over. Did I release it at 27 feet? I'm asking you. Like, if I'm throwing it, you know how I throw. When I throw the bag 27 feet, or do I release it after I step over?
I'm trying to think. You have a pretty delayed step. I want to say you're releasing at 27 feet, and then you're stepping afterwards. It's almost like your momentum's carrying you forward after that.
Everybody that does the step overthrow releases at 27 feet. But if you back up 2 feet, you're going to be throwing from 29 feet. So now I'm throwing 29 feet, which is a disadvantage to me versus everybody else. The step over is no advantage whatsoever. The only thing that you get to do is just follow through with your shot, just like a basketball shot, a pitcher following through after he throws it. Anybody throwing thing, you're following through with it. So advantage of you're throwing it less feet is BS. The only people that really have an advantage is if you're a 7'2" guy and you come play cornhole, your release point is going to be way closer to 27 feet than mine, so you already have an advantage. But
yeah, Matt Abernathy.
It's true.
Tree.
A random pro shout out. I love Matt. So true. All right. I was interested to get your guys' point because obviously I'm sure you guys hear a lot about that. Frank, I'm sure you're basically the poster child for this rule, right? You know what I mean? Like you really are. So like, I think it's nice for you to like publicly address this, issue or topic, I guess, for lack of better terms.
Well, here's something that Jamie and I talk about all the time. And there's a lot of talk of it amongst the pros. The people that complain about this shot the most, we don't have no clue who they are. Like it's not the pros that are complaining, and it's not even your above average cornhole players. Most of the complaints come from recreational players. I'm assuming because they're not out there on the competitive level. So, I mean, I hope nobody takes offense to that. But
I mean, that was really hard to take offense to that. That was so nicely said. I mean, I don't know if anyone's gonna be quick enough to get that they were just insulted, but that was very well said. So,
but it would be a shame. It would be a shame for an organization to make a change to a rule to appease the public. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You should make these decisions based on what's best for the pro division. They had the rule. I think they had the rule right before the plant. That back foot, I'll be clear on this. That back foot should remain within the cylinder, remain within, it can't break the plane, that the foul plane.
Yes.
So if you think about it, it's not just a foul line. It's actually a glass wall there that we're not supposed going all out, putting 2 feet into the playing surface. That I don't think that should be allowed. I don't think falling into the mid part of the court where you're maybe interfering with the other person. But if it's a controlled follow through step and you leave 1 foot within the cylinder, then it's just like Jamie said. We've been taught, since we were young that you follow through. I've had so many people try to video me from the sides and different angles, trying to catch me throwing it at a distance shorter than 27, and we just don't do it. When I first went to this, it was actually kind of following up on something that Jamie was doing in his throw, because I was literally trying to find something to adjust as far as with the hip surgeries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was a right foot forward stationary thrower for years and years. I had to try to find something that I could still compete with at the top level. And that follow through step allowed me to be able to do that. I could follow for some reason, when I would put my left foot forward, my right foot forward would just want to come around on its own. So I was like, well, maybe that's why Jamie does it. Maybe that it's a natural thing that it wants to come around. So I started trying it. And I was like, daggone. But then the next thing that I did was I started videoing my own self from the side angle views. And I literally would put a point on the wall beside me. And I wanted to make sure that I was not breaking any rules because I promise you, I would never cheat on purpose at anything. And I did a lot of videos. I did so many still shots. I did so many slow-mos. And I mean, it was just a fact that I was releasing the bag before it, probably about a foot. If you did a measurement, a foot before my back foot comes through the plane, the follow-through foot.
Interesting. I mean, again, it is, you hit the nail on the head before when you said it's not the pros that are like the ones that are saying this all the time, but like it gives us endless content. So thank you.
It really does. Yeah.
And the one thing I forgot to mention before, Jamie made such a good point, and I don't know if you've listened to our show at all, but I stole your tweet. All right. And I used it for content for like the last 4 or 5 interviews. And it was your point about opens and nationals, and there should be a distinct difference. And I've asked of the last 4 or 5 pro guests we've had on the show if there should be a difference. I completely agree. A national is a national. Like world championships and nationals are a completely different beast. You are competing against the other 255 best people who do this in the world. An open is that. It's just an open. Like it's an open invitational. Like anything can happen. Mm-hmm. But like when you're looking at the golfers, like they only care about the majors. Like our majors in cornhole are the nationals. Like opens are just like career wins. Like they're nice. I mean, they're nice.
Rory McIlroy just celebrated winning Wells Fargo by divorcing his wife.
Yeah, no one's gonna care. You know what I mean? Like, no, but I do do agree with that. So, all right. So some random questions. Sean Clock wants to know what are your favorite conspiracy theories to talk about? Dane, I'm gonna make you start.
Ooh. So one of my, just one is not a conspiracy theory. It's just aliens. They exist.
Obviously,
we've made contact. Whatever. That is what it is. I loved falling down the rabbit hole of like the glitches.
Oh yeah,
in the Matrix. Yeah. Definitely like a Matrix like conspiracy theory type deal. I always enjoy. Not that I believe in it, but it's still it's still cool to see what people put out there for it.
Jamie, are you a conspiracy theory guy?
Not really. I've had friends talk about aliens and stuff, but I just don't believe in it. So yeah, I don't really believe in conspiracy theories.
Because Bigfoot exists. We understand.
That's fair.
I hope you don't. That was my worst dream as a kid.
Was it really?
My nightmares were about Bigfoot.
I'm a big time traveler guy. Like those like old photos where you see like someone in the background and they're like clearly they're like what the hell is that? Like no one else knows.
Photoshop's pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I get it, but like it suckers me in every time. The one that this is gonna be an icebreaker, all right, to get you guys off like being serious and everything. He has another question, all right, and he wants a cereal mascot battle royale to the death.
Okay.
So who are like some of the candidates for cereal mascots that you would consider throwing in there?
Tony the Tiger is an obvious one.
Yeah. Embarrassingly enough, I did a little research.
Yeah.
All right. Because I figured Tony the Tiger is going to be the obvious choice, right? Tony the Tiger is like 63 now.
Oh yeah, he's an old tiger.
All right, so you still throwing out 63?
Tiger.
Right,
Sean, just because you think of the other,
just saying, just give
the other like mascots, and you're like, yeah, Tiger's still kind of the most badass one.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cereal mascots. Who we got?
He played sports too.
He did.
He's athletic.
He's an athletic. Yeah.
And you've seen him in the commercials. He does not look a day over like 5.
No. Okay. He doesn't age. I will give you that.
Well.
I will give you that. All right. What are some other cereal mascots we can enter into this battle royale?
Isn't there a pirate or something?
There is Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Crunch the shit out of your roof with your mouth, and you're gonna be really mad. I like that. I like that a lot.
Does a ship shoot the crunch berries?
Yeah, I would like to
I would
think
hope so.
Yeah, in my world, yes.
In my perfect place, for sure. Frank, how about you? You a cereal guy?
The only thing I could think of right now is Toucan Sam.
All right, listen.
Hey,
I mean,
he's got the gift of flight.
Follow your nose.
Yeah, he can crush nuts with his beak.
Yeah, I mean,
so
hey, and he can talk.
So I have an embarrassing list.
So let me rattle off a few more because I know that you did your research, but
yes,
you got to give me the trio Snap Crackle Pop.
All right, so I was thinking of that. I actually left them off because like they're like 3 elves, like they're tiny.
I kind of get that like Alvin and the Chipmunks vibe where they're just like wily and they like get into things. So.
You don't think Jamie Graham could just fuck up 3 chipmunks or like 3 little elves?
But this is a battle royale amongst the other ones.
That's true.
So.
Good point.
All right,
good point.
You
don't
think
Tony the Tiger's just
they're so small that they could go hide and just wait till the end. You never know.
Just tear your answer down.
I mean, the one that he's unlucky is another one.
Because like how much magic? Yeah, how much though?
Maybe we've just never seen him unleash
That's what I'm saying.
But I've seen him been able to like ride his rainbows around.
And I like to think he's like fighting Irish, like he's got a little
little
chip
pep
on
in
his
his
shoulder.
step.
Yeah, I like that.
And then last but not least, we'll go with the frog from Smacks.
Okay. What's that, Jamie?
What was that, Jamie?
That's one of my favorite cereals.
Is it really?
There we go.
Our mom loved that cereal growing up.
I like that cereal, but I do.
I like that cereal too.
Yeah, I mean it's nostalgic to me. Some of the other ones. I think Trix the Rabbit. He's just enough, a little bit unhinged. You know what I mean? That like
are you
just
going
let him out there? Yeah.
You going with like cereals that are like limited releases, like the Halloween?
I am. Too? So I think the perfect answer is probably Boo Berry because it's a ghost. He's already dead. True. You can't kill him. You know what I mean? Count Chocula is another one. I don't know how much. I think one that gets slightly disrespected in these talks, Fred Flintstone.
Yeah,
I feel like he's got some like that Neanderthal.
You going Fruity Pebbles, Fred Flintstone, or Cocoa Pebbles?
Cocoa Pebbles. I mean, come on, it's the streets. We're not. Yeah, come on, man.
It's the streets.
I'm going one from Detroit. I want one from like San Francisco or something. Like, you know what I mean? I want that tough Fred Flintstone. You know what I'm saying?
That's just wrong.
He's from Bedrock. All right.
Shout out to all of our fans in San Francisco. Love that. That's another.
We try to keep it PC, and then
listen. That was pretty good.
It falls down so fast.
Okay, Corey Fredrickson wants to know: is there anyone that you guys dread playing? And Dane, I want your answer too. Is there anyone that you like dread playing? Like that, just someone like doesn't necessarily mean that they beat you, but like they always either give you a good match or like you're just like, yeah, I just don't.
It used to be Shumney.
Okay.
But now he just beats my ass every time, so it doesn't even matter. And then I think I would have to go with Amy's cousin, Tyler.
Okay.
Because he doesn't play that often.
Is he pretty good?
But he's pretty good.
Is he? Okay.
So he always gives me a match. I've never lost to him.
Okay. Yeah.
But like, I shouldn't be giving up like 12 points to a guy that rarely plays.
Yeah.
So
you shouldn't.
He can just rain down airmails. It's pretty crazy. When he gets going, it's tough. But yeah, I'll go with those.
Frank, what about you? In all the years you've been playing, is there somebody that like you kind of just like you just never looked forward to really playing?
I have more categories than I do players.
Okay.
I don't not it's not that I don't enjoy playing them. I'd rather play somebody that I want to beat really, really bad. But to step up beside a 10-year-old, it's hard to pull that I want to kick your tail that personality out.
You gotta dig deep.
It is. It's hard.
Say it again.
You got to dig deep. You got to find that fire.
You really do have to dig deep because the talent's there. These kids are phenomenal, but it's just hard for me to get that beat down mentality, with somebody like that versus somebody, that like Adam Hissner. We step up beside each other. We want to go at each other's throats.
Jamie, what about you?
I'd say Matt Guy, just because when he's on, you just know like you're gonna have to hit all your shots.
Yeah.
Be on your A game, and then I don't hate women at all, but I don't like playing women because it's a lose-lose. Like if I beat a woman, I should beat her. And if I don't, it's like, damn, you just lost to a girl. And I know that sounds bad, but only to certain girls, not all of them. Like Cheyenne could definitely beat me. But it's just like the male, like testosterone in my body. Like I don't want to lose to a female.
It's the same thing if you were ever a wrestler and you had to wrestle a girl. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so I'd rather not play females. Because I've had to play Cheyenne before, and she gave me my toughest game of the day. So she's definitely, I think, in my opinion, the best female out there.
I don't think you're going to get an argument from anyone on that.
Oh no.
Hisner too.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular answer, I feel like.
Yeah.
We get it. We get it. It's
friendly competition, though.
And we'll call that.
Adam is man. He's one of those guys that he can get under your skin on the boards, but off the boards, you know, he's just as good as guys out there.
Oh, okay.
You don't agree?
We like Adam. We like Adam a lot. We like Adam. He was just on the show 2 weeks ago. He comes to like all the regional stuff, the same ones we go to. So we like to give him as much shit as we can. So
get a little jab in there.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while. Brandon Soul wants to know, how many hours of practice do you guys do, like a day? And are you more of a, do you like solo practice, or are you more of a, I'd rather go to a blind draw to get my practice in kind of person?
Jamie, you want it first?
Yeah, I can go first. I definitely choose solo practice over a blind draw.
Okay.
I think blind draws are good for like active play against other competition, but when it comes down to just practicing on your game, you definitely would want to be at home or wherever by yourself, even with a partner and you want to play against each other. But a blind draw, if you go there, you'll warm up. If you go 0-2 and you leave, what kind of practice did you get in? Even if you play a whole tournament, at my local blind draw, there's not many people there. So like, I'm not really getting that full practice that I want. So I practice around at least 1 to 2 hours a day. I used to try to do like 4, but I feel like now 4 is overdoing it in a way. It makes me not want to go back every day to do 4 hours a day. So I just try to keep my muscle memory down and just keep loose and keep my shots loose and just practice certain shots and go about at least 1 hour a day.
Frank, what about you?
So I'm kind of the same as Jamie. Part of mine has been like a geographical thing. I don't live near a lot of blind draws, so I can't go 10 minutes down the road and play in a blind draw, or I would have played more of them. So my 95% of the cornhole that I've ever played probably has been by myself.
Okay.
It's either been in my gym or in my building, and it's a terrible time to ask me that question right now because even though we made the Final Four, I feel like that I left a lot of room for improvement. We're throwing some different bags, different all cornhole bags right now. Jamie's throwing them lights out. So in the last since we qualified in Colorado, I can't begin to tell you how many thousands of bags I've thrown. I bought the same set that we're going to be using on the set in Vegas. I bought them home with me. So I, like right now it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. I still have probably 4 or 5 hours of practice left ahead of me tonight.
Oh, so, really? Okay.
Man. All right.
Oh yeah. I know right now that Jamie's playing on that level that if I bring at least my A game, if it's not my A+ game, if I bring at least my A game, we'll win it. He's just playing that good. So I'm hoping I can just return to bags and let him do his thing.
Is there any added pressure on you guys this year in regards to, you guys are clearly like the alpha team for all cornhole, right? So other bag companies have kind of branched out. They have, multiple teams. Like you guys are kind of like a smaller, tight knit, or at least, if nothing else, a very top heavy like sponsored group of people. Do you find like there's any added pressure on you guys to perform well? Because like it's been shown in the past, like the teams that do well, like typically translate into people buy those bags that they were using kind of thing. Like, does that come across to you at all? Like, do you think about those things ever?
You want to, James?
You want to go? You go first.
Okay. I think both of us will probably have a similar answer. We love challenges. So we don't necessarily like see ourselves as the alpha. But I think that the expectations of all of the players when a sponsor is confident enough in you to, put money in you, put money behind you, that there's a certain level of expectations that's placed on the players. I think that Jamie and I both handle that pretty well. We've got some great players on our team too, though. We literally, Jamie and I both have echoed it a couple of times already with Cheyenne. She's just hands down, to me, she's one of the top marketable players in the sport. Just from being a female and her skill sets, and what she can do in the women's division as well as in the open division. I mean, you look at what a couple of years ago, she was on. Was it the Final Four that she was in in the national singles?
In the Worlds, she lost in the finals to Trey Birchfield, I think, right?
Was it the finals? I mean, so she finished second.
Yeah,
or the Final Four.
No, she lost. She was second overall. She lost to Trey Birchfield in the finals that year.
I mean, 5 years ago, would you have said that we were even near that? 6-7 years ago, would you have said that?
I mean, you can argue outside of Cheyenne, we're not. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she's clearly, that far ahead of everybody else. And again, like, I'm not trying to pair, like, I didn't mean it to call you guys alpha dogs. It's like to put anyone else on your team down. I know there's a very talented team, all Cornhole, but you guys are clearly like the face or the poster children of all Cornhole now. So like you having a vested interest in all Cornhole, like, do you feel like, is there any added pressure onto that for you guys to do well?
I think there's some added pressure on me, somewhat, because, and I'm just speaking real here. First, let me go back real quick and give Ian Cripps a shout out.
Please. Because he killed it, man.
He's showing out.
He is.
He is showing out. Like he's one of those that has, just like Jamie, behind the scenes, he puts in the work, and it's starting to show. So big props to him, as well. But yeah, so I think there is some added pressure. I don't feel it. I don't think I let it affect me too much in my play, but I know that there's pressure from me to be that return player on the other end with Jamie, because you could take Jamie Graham and partner up with probably at 10, 15 other players and still get world championship results, by just the pairings. So I want to uphold my end, because I know that we can win a national championship. I know that we can win worlds. I feel like that Jamie's going to do his part. If I do my part, we're going to be right there.
Jamie, what about you?
I think there's pressure on both of us. Maybe a little different type of pressure than what Frank's talking about for him, but more of, I've dealt with pressure since I became in the pro division, of the pressure to succeed and the anxiety you can get of everybody thinking you should win and lose. How does Jamie Graham lose? All this, that's a lot of pressure, and that's why I try to stay off Facebook, because everybody's got opinions. And
does that kind of stuff affect you?
So I wouldn't say it affects me, but it's definitely pressure. I think I've built myself in a way to handle that pressure and learn to play with it. And when people say they don't when people don't put me in their top 10 or if they got negative comments, I kind of use that in a way to go out and perform. And then I'm like, haha, see, I'm not going. I'm still the same guy. Just because I don't travel doesn't mean my game's going down in a way. But yeah, I would say it doesn't affect me, but there's definitely pressure.
Just to clarify, you were in both of our top 10 lists, so
yes,
just throw
you
that
were.
out there, so we're good. So,
all right, for the record, does being back in like with Frank help with that pressure at all though? Like you mentioned, like you guys being good buddies. Like, is it just what's the difference in feeling like when you're up there playing doubles with Frank as opposed to what you're feeling with Matt?
Well, I guess my pressure isn't really like a doubles partnership thing. My pressure is just from performance anxiety of everybody thinking what I should do on the court, no matter what. But playing with Frank, definitely I'm a lot happier this season than I have been with Matt in the past. Matt just didn't care about my opinions on. I'm not saying you have to listen to your partner all the time, but it's like he didn't care about my opinions when I tried to at least give my advice on what shot to do in the right, because I know cornhole. I've been playing for 11 years, and I like to think of myself one of the top people of when it comes to a shot and all the shots. I like to think that I know what to do, even if you don't do the shot. But playing with Frank, definitely, I'm more happier in my life after everything that's happened. But yeah, me and Frank being friends, able to talk about life in general outside of cornhole, it really feels good having that friendship on the courts as well. But yeah, I like playing with Frankie.
What have you done to like deal with so you said like you've been dealing with like the pressure, like the anxiety stuff, like since you've been a pro, like how have you learned to deal with it? Like is there any, like, have you read a book? Like have you talked to people? Like if is somebody giving you a good word of advice that you took to heart?
I think the biggest thing, there's several things. I've read books, but I think the biggest thing, man, is like prayer, dude. Like my mom is my biggest like supporter, and she prays for me all the time about just giving me the strength to deal with the negative comments and the negative people in life when it comes to cornhole, and just asking God to be there with me at all times so I can perform, because I mean, without him, I would not be a professional cornhole player. I feel like he's gifted me that to be able to perform at a high level. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is prayer on dealing with all the pressure. And then books itself about the mind and stuff like that is a big key too. And then 3, friendships, like being able to talk to people, your closest friends, about everything that's going on with the cornhole world and stuff like that. Having that in your corner is a big thing.
Completely agree, man. Completely agree. I'm interested to hear, because you guys are kind of like OGs, right? You guys have been around for a while. You're not allowed to put each other, all right, or either one, but I want you to create a Mount Rushmore of cornhole. Like who belongs on that Mount Rushmore? So Frank, you can't take the easy route out and put Jamie on. Okay. All right. So I'm interested to see, because again, you've been around. So like, I want to hear some names. Like there's some OGs out there that belong on this Mount Rushmore. So I'm interested to hear who you guys put up there.
Man, that's tough. Because I think the Mount Rushmore would be built not completely solely on talent.
I completely
think
agree.
that
Yes.
there's different
100%.
There's different ways you can look at this. Yep.
Right. So, and I'm probably speaking from a geographical standpoint here, but
yeah,
my buddy Rocky, I think he would be one of the first ones that I would put up there. Rocky was a great guy. Everybody thought the world of him. But what a lot of people in the other parts of the country didn't really see what Rocky done for the sport. in the Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, DC, all of that area, Rocky was a tremendous advocate for the sport. Like, he promoted the game, he built the game, he did a lot of things that I don't think I would have been willing to do. Like, he devoted a lot of his personal time to developing the sport, and without those people, man, we're nowhere. There's those type of people throughout the country that keep bringing these new players in, and that takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication. And he was a tremendous advocate of the sport, and I think the way he presented himself in the pro world, he would if he wasn't up there, I don't think we build Mount Rushmore. Of course, I would put Jamie up there if you would allow him. But there's no way you could build a Mount Rushmore without Matt Guy. His reputation, his records stand for themselves. Yep. You can like him, you can hate him, whatever stance you have on him. He has been there when the sport was very young and in its infancy and competing at the high level then, and now we're at the sport evolving and growing to the point where where we're at now. He's still able to compete at the top level.
Yep.
So I think his accolades stand for itself. So he would definitely be up there. Mr. Damon Dennis, it would be mighty hard for me not to put him up there. I just think that his personality combined with his talents, his skill sets, if somebody built it without him, I don't think it would be complete. He's a top-notch guy and a top representative of the sport and a great representative of God. So I think he would be up there. How many am I allowed to have?
But you can tap out whenever you need to. So.
Let's see.
He's doing the whole Appalachian mountain range. It's just going to stretch for several miles.
The whole mountain.
Much like a scroll of sponsors, the list goes on.
He's asking that not to tap out, but he's like, I got 47 more names to go through. So, how much time you guys got?
Oh, man.
Jamie, is there anyone else that immediately comes to mind that you would put on the Mount Rushmore?
I like to think of the Mount Rushmore of like greats. No matter if you're great at cornhole, you were a great person, a great leader for the sport. But I definitely agree with Frank on Rocky. Matt Guy, 100%. And then I also like Damon on there. Damon's always been a good guy and a great player. One player that's been playing for as long as us that he don't get recognition. He has some this year, but he don't get recognition of what he's actually done since he's been a pro. And I personally think it's Adam Hisner, because Adam Hisner has been in the finals in the World Championship 2 out of the two. I know he's been in there twice. He played Baldwin, lost, and he played me. But he's also been in the top 5 of the World Championship, and like I don't know, just cornhole wise, Adam has been there for a long time. Kind of slowed down. People quit talking about him as much, but every year at Worlds, he always shows up.
That's so weird about seeing him do well early in the year. Yeah, because normally he is like a late year, like kind of charge kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then another player that isn't playing this year that I've always thought was so good at cornhole is Baldwin.
I literally wrote that name down right here.
Mm-hmm. He kind of made cornhole cool.
I literally had that. That was the one name I wrote down that I was going to be interested to see if you guys put down, because that's what it was. Like when cornhole was like early on ESPN and like starting to gain some popularity, like iconic is like James Baldwin with sunglasses.
Big game James,
man. You know what I mean? Like
out there just letting it rip.
I still wouldn't count James Baldwin out. I literally think that if he wanted to, he could. So he's had a lot of life changes. He's gotten married and he's got a little boy.
Shit, man, life. Yeah,
so,
I get it.
Along with those changes, I tip my hat to people like that. James his priorities have just changed a little bit. And I kind of respect him a lot for it. Another guy, Jordan Langworthy, my partner from way back, got married, had some kids, and their life is just busy. But I think either one of those guys could, if they wanted to, they could come right back in the sport and if they put the time into it, they could climb back to the top pretty quick. But I want to put one more person on the map.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
Cheyenne, moving on.
Yeah,
Cheyenne's got to be up there.
It's all right. I have a different.
Yeah,
I have a different female that I would put up there.
Me too.
I would put up Stacia Pugh.
Or Christine Papke.
Or Papke.
Or Papke.
Or put both of them up there together as a doubles, and then I would also have Hissner Henderson up there as a doubles.
I kind of agree with that. Like, I feel like, no, don't get me wrong, Adam's having a lot of success this year, so I feel like he's on the forefront of his mind. Cody also had a really good first national, but that's besides the point. But again, they were a package deal. You couldn't go turn on Cornhole without hearing Hissner Henderson.
Yes.
They were literally, I thought it was one fucking last name for the longest time.
Yeah, and then last one that I would actually chuck in there as well. Greatest director of all time, Dave Weiser.
Amen. Yes.
Dave's a good one.
Assassin on the board, and
you could go down the list. Man.
Oh, for sure. I mean, ours was definitely regional to us as well, but
of course.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the Adam, and like you guys say, Adam and Cody for the longest time, they stood the test of time. Like when a lot of movements would go on in the off seasons, with partners or whatever, they come back just as strong every year.
I did a whole video dedicated to that.
Yeah.
And it was all about like them breaking up because it was a sad time. Like you don't see like OG partners sticking together.
They were a household
anymore.
name.
They were kind of like the last of the Mohican a little bit. So we'll start to wrap this up a little bit. Jamie, I don't know if you remember when we were at a national championship in Erie, PA. It was the day of singles. Me and you happened to chat outside for like 5 minutes in between, like you're waiting for one of the matches. And you told me that day, and I think it was like second or third round, you're like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to win this shit today. And I just took you at the word. I went inside and told Dane, I'm like, well, Jamie Graham's going to win this because he just told me he was going to win it. So I'm interested. What are your vibes going into this one? Are we getting a clean sweep for all cornhole? Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Clean sweep would be awesome. I think me and Frank definitely have a high % chance to win doubles, and then me winning singles. I definitely believe that I'm going to win singles no matter what. Jeremiah and Ron, we have in doubles first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Me and Frank actually have not talked about the matchups yet, so we could talk about it on here, but
you can just listen to our episode.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested because we broke that down ourselves, and I think it really does. I'm very interested to see how you guys match up against them. And I didn't know if you guys, because you guys strike me as a cerebral team. You guys talk strategy and who like matchups. You guys don't necessarily care as much about arm inside outside. It strikes me. Is that correct?
Yeah, we haven't. If we go by exactly what we did at the last national, I'll be playing against Ron, and Frank will be throwing against Jeremiah. We actually haven't talked at all about how we want to do that. I'm very comfortable with not switching and letting Frank take on Jeremiah because Jeremiah is great, but he's also human. Anything can happen up there. I think Frank is also a great player. So if Frank plays his game and I play my game, it doesn't matter who's standing beside us. I think we can still come out on top.
Very interesting. Well put. I'll just put that. We'll say that. No, I was interested in that because we talked about that quite a bit. So, but I want to wish you guys luck. Obviously, hope you guys pull it out. I don't know if the world will be able to handle if we get like a clean sweep by like Ultra. Like Mark Pryor might just die of happiness or something. So like let's see if we can do something about that, guys. Okay, so
it's a fairly good omen when you hop on this show, though.
Yeah, listen,
to lead to champions,
I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag, but yeah, people who tend to come on the show typically end up winning. So we're passing on the good vibes to you guys. But thank you very much for taking time out of your guys' week to join us. I know it's a busy, hectic week.
I know,
You guys
Frank still
heading
got
out and
5
everything.
hours
I know,
of practice
Jesus.
to do.
So, but thank you very much
man,
for joining.
I'm in this backwards night. I've got my days and nights mixed up right now. Terrible, but it's all because of practice schedules and trying to do things with the kids and stuff in the afternoons, and so it's nothing for me to be sleeping late mornings and up all night.
I hear you.
Hey, I'm interested to hear real quick.
Yeah.
How would y'all match us up?
So I was actually, I chose the same way that Jamie had, because I basically told Sean, if Frank, you're feeling it and you're slicking bags in there left and right, you're just hard to score points on. And Jeremiah loves to just run bags too, and then like he'll try to switch it up, but you have no issue cleaning it out. And then let Jamie go to work down on the other end against Hart and see how it goes.
I think that's what we decided was like if it was the other way around, I feel like that's the only way to me that maybe they can squeak it out.
Now,
But
Sean also thought, Jamie, you might step up to Jeremiah and be like, we're doing this twice, so buckle up, buddy. And you want to go head to head against Jeremiah in singles and doubles and just, let him know.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I mean, again, it's not a bad one of them will work.
He's more than
listen, I'll be watching.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, of all the matches, like I think that's my most intriguing matchup.
So a little bit. So it's ironic that you're playing Jeremiah in both doubles and then again, obviously in singles. Any chance that we can like develop a little like rivalry or something here? Like we need it, man. We need rivalries, man. Like just can we just say it?
Yeah. If you win, can you just yell into the mic like my beard's better?
Yeah, or something. Yeah, for sure.
better, but like we've already talked some crap, man. The last national, we all went out after we made Final Four, and I was just telling them straight up. I mean, I was I wasn't sober, and I like talking some junk.
Fair enough.
I was basically just like, yeah, you're gonna find out who's the big dog in the league come Vegas. And he was like, ain't nobody worried about you. And I said, we were just going back and forth.
Sounds about right. Yeah. I like that.
I'm to put the Ellie fans get that group deleted after I am.
Oh God.
I am a member, but just to follow along.
Yes. we developed a new name for them if Ryan Hart ends up if he plays well, then they'll have the Heartthrobs along with the ELLIS, and they can just have a big old love fest.
The ball's
together.
in your court, fellas. Okay, so the social media world's depending on you.
Jeremiah knows me and him are good. We became really good friends, and it's all just friendly trash talk.
Of course, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Respects mine, and we'll just see the best person wins.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, so we'll let you. We're gonna let everyone else go. We'll have you guys hang on for just a minute. But thank you very much for joining us. Wishing you guys luck in the broadcast and all the events and the rest of this year. And then we'll probably see you guys at the end of the World Championships because that's kind of what you guys do every year. So odds are in your favor. So
appreciate you guys having us.
Anytime. All right, folks. We'll be back next week with more fun stuff. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but four baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.